The story must go back a few days earlier. On a luxury yacht. The guy with glasses confessing his love to beauty queen Deeplam. Everyone around saw this and cheered enthusiastically. But I don't know if they agree or not. This guy is our main man. Especially like watching survival shows. That day it suddenly rained heavily, creating very fierce waves. Everyone so panicked and ran inside the ship. Realized they couldn't get back in time anymore. Sir Tanthian chose to grab the boy, swept into the water by the storm. When he regained consciousness, he found himself on an island where there was no trace of human habitation. So it must be a deserted island. If nothing happens, then guess about 5 days. The rescue team will find it here. Fortunately, there are many coconut trees on this island. Living on them probably lasted only a week after gathering them. Tanthian used a knife to split them. Come out. Take a sip of water to stay healthy. The host has awakened. Would you like to open a newbie gift? What is this? Stereoscopic lens. Tanthian curiously clicked on, and received the encyclopedia about common flora and fauna. But miraculously, this information was transferred straight to his head. When he looked at the coconut, detailed information immediately appears. Coconut belongs to the palm tree family. 153 10 meters high. Rough trunk often with root veins. The fruit is round or nearly round in shape. The intestines are rice embryos. Heard a loud scream. Tanthian immediately ran there. Saw Miss Deeplam was being attacked by a snake. Luckily it was just a non-venomous water snake. Size is medium-small. Inhabits most freshwater bodies, like ponds, lakes, fields, and canals. Rescue. Help me. Black Hair directly grabbed it with his hand. Slammed his head straight into the coconut tree. Who are you? Put on your clothes first. Deeplam was originally planning to go into the forest. Take off your clothes to dry. I didn't expect to encounter this. What a shame. This person is also the second most upright and saved me just now. I don't have any attractiveness at all. Look. I didn't even look at the just now. Thank you. My name is Deeplam, student of Kwangdai School. Tanthian is also a student of Kwangdai School. Deeplam very happy to meet someone in the same situation. Sitting alone. Drank all the coconuts. On me. Do you have anything that can communicate with the outside? Phone or recorder or something? Deeplam shook his head and said no. Even so, she is still very optimistic. Believe that someone will come to save me soon. Tonight Tanthian plans to light a fire. To chase away the snakes and centipedes. But how to create a fire is the real problem. Tanthian and Deeplam go around the beach. It will take a while. Saw a plastic bottle. Deeplam was about to throw it away. Luckily, I was only able to stop a plastic bottle in time. There's nothing to be excited about. You'll know soon. Tanthian gathered a pile of firewood. Used a water bottle as a lens. Thereby generating enough heat to make the fire burn. In the evening, Deeplam was a little worried that I will starve to death. But really, there's no need to worry. Why are you holding it? Guess what? Tanthian cut open the snake's belly raw. Don't tell me you're going to grill it and eat it. Even though Cho has. If I starve to death here, I won't eat a single morsel. Really, the meat on a deserted island is delicious. Tanthian doesn't believe that Deeplam can hold it later. Snake meat is crispy on the outside and soft on the inside. Truly delicious. Deeplam still tried to ignore it. But after a while, couldn't hold it anymore. I ate it. Do you have any opinions? No. Just now we're criticizing up and down. Now I'm eating like nothing ever happened. Thanks to the system, water snakes can be identified by flower testing. If not, you'll probably be hungry too. The system suddenly appeared, making Tanthian a bit shocked. Besides himself Ra, no one can see this system. The host burned the trick to receive 100 points. Through this score, you can exchange a lot of useful things in the store. But the cheapest ones are here. If you want to exchange, you have to spend 2,000 points. See, Ra had to slowly research. While sleeping, Tanthian discussed something with Deeplam. But she had been sleeping for a long time. And she looked really pretty. I didn't watch out for myself at all. The moon today was quite beautiful. Was sleeping when Tanthian suddenly woke up. Felt cold all over. Deeplam seemed to be the same. Tanthian came to wake her up. But she misunderstood, thinking that Tanthian wanted to do something with her. I thought he had integrity. I didn't expect to be such a person. Don't do anything wrong. even though this place is just the two of us. Tanthian said this was just a misunderstanding. If you don't want to freeze, I advise you to come here and warm the fire. Difference. The temperature between day and night is very high. Even if you use a fire it won't warm you up, so it's not much. Not to mention, doesn't have many clothes on him. If you keep wearing it like this, you'll freeze to death. Tanthian suggested to Deeplam, we should use our bodies to warm each other. That way I can get through this night. But she rejected me. It's getting colder and colder. Deeplam couldn't stand it anymore. So he had to agree with Tanthian. Close your eyes and don't look. Oh, why are you taking off your clothes? The main male and female lead in the movie because it's cold. Don't they all take off their clothes? Tanthian said that this is not necessary. Unless you wear too many clothes. It's normal. Just hugging each other like this is enough to keep you warm. The long cold night just goes by. When the sun comes up, everything will become much warmer. The view here is really beautiful, isn't it? Noticed that the seawater had receded. Tanthian immediately ran out to catch the sea crabs. After a while, I have earned quite a bit. Now I just need to prepare it. Then grill it and eat it. Crab has welding properties. Eating too much will make your stomach heavy. Especially the shell, so we have to limit it a bit. But it cannot be denied that their meat is extremely delicious and juicy. Like 18-year-old girls. Later I will steadfastly enter the jungle. Build a shelter. Avoid causing cold winds late at night. Deeplam doesn't like going into the jungle very much. But there are many trees and supplies there. More favorable for house construction. So I had to accept. Before starting, I had to prepare enough fresh water. Climbing coconuts is not easy. For those without skills, Tanthian put an extra belt under my feet. Increase friction. Still feeling very tired though. After picking the coconuts, Tanthian chopped them all up. Put water in a plastic bottle. When leaving, Deeplam brought a few more fruits. But Tanthian felt this was unnecessary. Because if you drink too much you will most likely have diarrhea. Both quickly entered the forest, leaving an SOS sign. It was quite hot in the jungle. Also very uncomfortable. By the plants. Target row head. Now we have to find more water sources. If there are water snakes here, then there must be water somewhere. This broken grass must be the path of wild animals. And wild animals are like humans, people need to replenish water sources. Tanthian and Deeplam so decided to follow this path. After half a day of tiring travel, Tanthian suddenly heard the sound of water. Rushed over there. As expected, the water also looked very clean. But no matter how clean it was. Also don't drink directly. Tanthian plans to set up a tent a little distance away. Instead of setting up a tent right here. To avoid touching other wild animals. More so if it rains. Rising water will likely overflow the banks. So set up a tent in an open place like this. It would be most reasonable. Tanthian to ask Deeplam to find some large, broad-leaved species. And himself to dry some firewood. Then light a fire before sunset. I remember when I first came here. I passed by a newly grown forest. The stem is at arm's length or can be used to pitch a tent. I just don't know what to use to cut it. Before, Tanthian has watched many survival programs, through which he learned how use rocks to hit each other, to form a sharper stone blade. But when cutting trees with bare hands like this, still feels very laborious and time-consuming. Cutting hard until dark only gets a certain amount. Tanthian, are you back? Name 10. Look what I found. There aren't many materials yet. So Tanthian plans to build a tilted tent. Simple. Use tree bark to tie everything together. Banana leaves just need to attach it. Then sharpen 2 trees and stick them firmly in the ground. The tent is done. Deeplam is quite disappointed, because the tent looks quite alum. Even the system also laughed in his face. Tanthian gives you 1,000 incentive points. Boiling water with a plastic bottle like this is very dangerous. But compared to dying of thirst, it's still a lot better. Now there is a tent to avoid the cold wind at night. But the food issue needs a little thought. This place is a bit far from the beach, so we won't be able to catch crabs at this time. Tide and coconut only provides carbohydrates. Besides, it's not enough to eat. Tomorrow go to the banana forest. Probably the most reasonable choice. Deeplam is being attacked by wild mosquitoes. Being bitten. It's normal to be red and swollen for a few days. Moreover, it can cause a fever. Tantheon quickly helped me. After attracting the mosquitoes on his part, Tantheon put a fresh tree top into the fire to create a lot of smoke. Chase away the mosquitoes. Tonight is much warmer than last night, so we can't hug each other anymore. There are many wild animals in the forest. Tantheon thought we should take turns on duty, but Deeplum was already asleep. Busy all day long. Must have been very tired. Tantheon had to stay on duty alone. The chirping of birds signals the dawn. Deeplum woke up in a very refreshed spirit. Tonight it's her turn to be on night duty. If not, I will punish you. Sorry, I was really sleepy last night. Tonight you just sleep. I'll keep watch. That's it, so it's better to take turns. Before doing anything, I have to wash my face a bit to wake up. According to Deeplum's instructions, the banana forest is not far from here. Follow the flow for a few hundred meters to reach it. This red fruit, raspberry, also known as wild strawberry, belongs to a standing shrub. Spiny stems live abundantly in mountainous factory areas. 2 to 3 months will bloom. 4 to 6 months for results. The pure white and kidney-boosting effect is gone. Refreshing drink. Deeplum was happy to see it. But when I ate it, it was sour. Actually, it was unripe, so it was sour. This place is a banana forest of the western banana variety. The stems are 3 to 4 meters tall, about 40 centimeters wide. This morning's breakfast looks like there's no need to worry anymore. Tantheon fell on a rock, then threw it into a bunch of bananas. I thought he wanted to pull the bunch of bananas down. Unexpectedly, he pulled it down the hole. Tree also has relatively soft banana leaves. Tantheon, are you okay? Hungry? Eat a banana. Go away. Do you want me to try poison? Tantheon picked up the banana to eat, but it was too hard. Still not green or ripe, but because it had too many seeds. Very different from farmed bananas. So basically inedible. Tantheon groped on some banana leaves. Sure enough, found some banana worms. It contains 6 times more protein than beef. Fried, golden and crispy. Just makes my mouth water. Deeplum, but not scary at all. On the contrary, it's delicious. Compared to snake meat, it is much tastier. She has no resistance to banana worms. It surprised me so much. The roadside snack shops these days, aren't they all widely available for sale? I've tried it before. This is a fish eye trap that Tantheon just made. Well, it's a real fish trap. Just now when returning, I saw quite a few fish in the stream. There is this trap. Surely you can catch some small fish. Just using this plastic bottle. Just use this bottle, put it in the middle of the water and secure it with rocks. Add a little banana beard inside as bait. Do you smell anything? It seems to smell like something indeed. Deeplum followed the scent and found the mint plant. The leaves contained a special essential oil that could absolutely be used to repel mosquitoes. Brought some to plant around the tent. Definitely worked. This isn't too difficult and doesn't take too much effort. I should be able to sleep well tonight. Tantheon just finished making a stone axe. Immediately received 200 points from the system. If this continues, there will be enough exchange points soon. Okay, just an axe and hammer. Is it necessary to have so much fun? Deeplum and Tantheon returned to the beach. Collected a few more coconuts. But suddenly saw the coconuts picked last time were all torn in half. Perhaps by a ferocious animal like a tiger or lion. No, Mom. The 2 elders both ate meat. Moreover, she had heard it before. Have a wild animal ever drank coconut water? Look at this trail. This is left by a coconut crab. After a while of following, the 2 found a coconut tree and saw the coconut crab there. It can be up to 1 meter long. Not only the largest land crab, but also the largest land arthropod, possessing a pair of claws big and strong enough to tear apart coconut shells. This guy was washed up on a deserted island with a beautiful girl. So now they can only rely on each other to survive. Today they were lucky enough to find a coconut crab, weighing about 2 or 3 kilos. Let's go. This coconut crab is edible. If it doesn't come down, how can you catch it? After a while of hiding and waiting, the crab finally jumped down. Hurry up, wash the crab. It's climbing again now. Rest assured it can't run. The look on its face is so evil. This crab peels the coconut as gently as a banana peel. Wait until it after peeling. Tantheon, he cunningly jumped out to take it. avoiding having to chop the coconut. And it was really spicy. Just finished peeling a fruit and it was stolen by this bad guy. I want to swear. Come here and pinch me. I was tired of teasing dogs in the past. Now Tanthian pokes coconut crabs too. Now go to the pot. Honey. He looks a bit like a villain, doesn't he? Tanthian and Deeplum set off to return to the tent. But these coconuts are too heavy. Deeplum just walked a little and was tired and couldn't continue. She was a bit down. Because it's been 3 days. And the rescue team still hasn't arrived. Even so, this is not the time to be sad. But must quickly regain spirit. To continue to survive. When checking the trap at the stream, Tanthian suddenly discovered 3 small fish. Convenient processing here. Use internal organs as new bait. The benefit of traps is that there is no need to stand guard. Just need the heavens to do it. The contestant completes the task of catching fish. Received 500 points. Currently Tanthian has received 1,000 points. Just enough to exchange items in the cave. After returning to the barracks, Deeplum prepares a grill. Tonight's dinner is 1 coconut crab and 3 fish. The meat is very delicious and sweet, especially the crab meat. Even the smallest leg is full of meat. Deeplum will be in charge of night duty tonight. Just looks so confident. Actually, she was very afraid of wild animals. Suddenly being touched. Immediately attacking me. It's me. You scared me to death. Tanthian told Deeplum to go to sleep. Let me take the shift for you. But I'm so scared. If I accidentally hit a flower head with a hammer, I'll die. Deeplum so I went to sleep. While sitting idle, Tanthian cooked some water to warm my stomach. Plus mint leaves to increase alertness. Deeplum dreams while sleeping. Sad tears. She seems to really want to go home. If the rescue team hasn't arrived in 7 days, she will probably be desperate. To improve the situation, Tanthian used her 2,000 points in exchange for knowledge crafting in the shop. With this, you can craft a lot of things yourself, like ceramic bows and arrows. System. Give Tanthian another free spin. Which of these to get? Remains to be seen how lucky it will be. After the spin, Tanthian receives the sharp gift of a cheetah. So happy, my dear. I thought it was time. Hey. Life has bloomed. Who would have thought it could only be used once? It's really dirty. Woke up early in the morning. Deeplum couldn't see Tanthian anywhere. So I was struggling to look around. Turns out, Tanthian was just grilling fish. Deeplum planning to go to the stream to take a bath. So I told Tanthian absolutely not to go there. But he thought she wanted to quit. He also told me to reinstall the soil properly. Avoid water pollution. Why bury it? I was going to take a shower. Just take a shower. It's been a few days. Tanthian hasn't taken a shower yet. Maybe I'm going out there to take a peek now. After I'm done, I'll take a shower. Right, on this big tree, there's a horseshoe mushroom growing. Although they are not edible, but can be used as kindling. On the search, Tanthian discovered several other types of fruit. But they are outside the scope of the system's understanding. So I don't know if they can be eaten or not. A rabbit accidentally passed by Tanthian. Their maximum speed can reach up to 70 kilometers on the hour. Chase. You definitely can't catch up. Tanthian tried throwing a stone axe at it, but couldn't hit. The rabbit then packed up and ran away very quickly. Just like some 2-legged rabbit. Tanthian sadly returned to his tent. Heard Deeplum's loud scream. He immediately ran there, and saw a snake approaching her. But when she picked up her head she saw. It turned out to be just an eel. Also known as eel. The slender, snake-shaped body can be up to 1 meter long. The skin is golden brown and the meat is thick and delicious. Often live in places with a lot of mud. Even though it's not poisonous. It's very creepy. Stay away from me. Just now I had a headache and didn't know what to eat. Now it's delicious and this eel is huge. Isn't it? At first glance, it's about 1.5 meters. Deeplum has finished showering. Oh my god. I had a quick look a while ago. But I have to admit that she's really pretty. Why do you keep staring at me? I think you're very beautiful. Deeplum blushed. Quickly left for the tent. Deeplum previously had many suitors. Lyrics of this type of praise. I'm tired of hearing it so much. But I don't understand why I feel so happy right now. Even though eels are not social animals. But they probably don't live alone. Tanthian searched all over the stream. Sure enough he saw their cave. Usually eel caves will have 2 holes. Just put the bottom hole back. The eels will have no way to escape anymore. However, handshakes are still not allowed. Because this could also be a water snake's cave. Or a crab's cave. If you put your hand in, maybe there's still a belt on. Tantheon made a mistake once when he was young. Fortunately, it was just a snake soaked in 2 stripes without toxins. If it was summer, it would be different. It is the mating season of eels. Eel after RHAI will release a large amount of foam in the water. Based on this point, we can know if there are eels in there or not. But it is autumn now, so it is necessary to use water grass to explore. He would kill any snake or eel. Realizing that they had taken the bait, Tantheon immediately pulled up very hard. After a whole day of tinkering, he caught 2 more. This is probably the limit of this stream. 3 eels this big. If you grill it once, you won't be able to eat it all. Tantheon is thinking about the smoking method. Do it in the simplest way. Smoke it for about 3 or 4 hours. Enough to preserve for a few days. Is there anything I can do? You keep being busy and I sit on the side watching. Not a good feeling. Tantheon shows Deeplum how to groin the rope. Planning to build a windproof wall tomorrow. Today's fish trap had 2 fish stuck in it. But because the next 2 days there were already eels eating, Sir Tantheon built a stone tank, temporarily holding the fish there that evening. Deeplum and Tantheon are both looking forward to the grilled eel dish. If you want it to taste delicious, you have to color it a bit. Sprinkle in a few raspberries. In the style of him sprinkling salt. Deeplum tried a piece. The taste of meat immediately spread. Delicious and ecstatic. A few days have passed. Now all the eel meat has been eaten. The fish are only a few left. So today Tantheon hopes to catch wild rabbits. Enter. 2 days ago he took down the old tent. Rebuilt it into a better 2-roof tent. Avoid the cold wind late at night. According to Tantheon's judgment, then the rabbit hole is definitely located nearby. And it is indeed located nearby. Exactly right under this tree. Proverbs have sentences. The cunning rabbit dug a hole in 3 corners. Tantheon found it. Close everything up. But this cave has 5 niches. Tantheon left 2 holes. One hole lit a fire and blew smoke in. The other hole just hugged the tree and waited for the rabbit. When it jumped out, Tantheon grabbed its head. But surprisingly there was still another one. Rabbits in the wild usually live alone. So this must be a couple. Moreover, there are several children. Tantheon grabbed everyone without leaving anyone out. Today is such a beautiful day. You know, girls usually like cute things. Tantheon plans to go to the stream to handle everything. But how can a cute rabbit like this be eaten? If you want to eat it, you have to grow it to make it a little fatter. Then you must eat like that to have a lot of meat. This episode is a bit incorrect. But it makes sense. Everything has to be raised before it can be eaten. Wild rabbit meat is very fishy. So before making it, you have to let the blood drain out. Even so, when grilled and eaten, it still feels quite fishy. Tantheon alone swallowed it all, seeding the fish to Deeplum. Tomorrow is the 7th day. Deeplum is very hopeful that the rescue team will arrive. But the situation is still unknown. Probably okay. Full. Then Tantheon, what are you doing? Although there is already fire, Tantheon still wants to try a few more ways. Write a lot and don't suffer any loss, but ignite 2 people. Wooden bow ignites fire according to the way of the Ro-Kioi clan. Classic ignition and tell the wood to ignite. There are 5 ways in total. It is the style of the Yokoi clan that is most effective. But it's also the most troublesome. So using an ignition bow would be the optimal choice. Just a little bit of success already today. The next morning, Deeplum went to the beach. Really believed that the rescue team would come. Seeing her so happy, Tantheon couldn't bear to suppress it. Had to pretend to go along. Prepare dry firewood and wash your stomach. Wait with Deeplum until the afternoon. Whatever happens will happen. Tantheon, the rescue team arrived too late. It's almost dark. Have they forgotten us? Or have you given up on us? Tantheon is here. I don't know what to say. Are we going to die here? Deeplum, please calm down. Realized she couldn't calm down anymore. So Tantheon slapped her. Go cry for comfort. Deeplum cried quite loudly. Hugged Tantheon, looking quite affectionate. Later. It's raining and the sky is bright again. No, after late at night the sky is bright again. Deeplum fought back against Tantheon. After fighting he still laughed. How cruel he is now. Makes us guys lose faith in women too much. Erratic tides. Tantheon plans to wait here a little longer. Waiting for low tide to catch crabs to eat. Deeplum after yesterday's sad night. Now back as usual. Although Tantheon added a few shots. Said the rescue team had given up. She didn't feel sad. Anyway, she could make her own boat. Rowing back to where she started was fine. Look what I'm doing. When the tide recedes, let's quickly go pick up seafood. Who is looking at him? A few hours have passed. Deeplum and Tantheon have now returned to the barracks. Luckily so, otherwise there is a high possibility that the rabbits will chew through the cage and run away. The seafood is cooked. Finish eating and then work. You eat first. I'll eat later. Oh, that's right. After eating, put the seashells back. Don't throw it away. What's the use? Not using it for now. But it will work. In the next few days. Low tide is always at noon. Maybe go out to catch some seafood. Noticed that the dark circles on Tantheon's eyes were quite serious. So that night, Deeplum decided to stay on duty without changing shifts. So that Tantheon could comfortably sleep until morning. But that's also why she became the one with the black eye. Rest today. No need to do anything else, yeah. Before going to the beach, Tantheon decided to go into the forest to find some food. But after walking for 2 hours, only found a few wild fruits whose names were unknown. Thought it was yesterday, now there will be nothing more. But then suddenly, found a large bamboo forest. In the wild, bamboo is said to be the universal construction tool. Both strong and flexible. It's really difficult to cut. Just cutting down a tree makes my hands numb. So today, only brought this certificate home. Deeplum is at home free idle. Grill 2 fish waiting for Tantheon to come home. Come quickly, the fish is about to get cold. What is this grilled fish wrapped in charcoal? Tantheon is making a larger fish cage to accommodate enough food, and Deeplum is going to cut the above nodes out. Make a few water tanks. The fish cage has 3 steps, all of which are step 1 being a buffalo. I mistook bamboo for spokes. Then braid the cage body in a staggered fashion, top and bottom, and then turn the remaining part into a funnel shape. Achieving efficiency is easy to get in and hard to get out. After a while of work, Deeplum has also finished making some water containers. Tantheon plans tomorrow. We'll go to the bamboo forest one more time. I'll go too. Anything more or less helps. Tantheon suddenly showed a sinister smile. Doing Deeplum makes me regret what I just said. The bamboo forest is surprisingly large. It takes about 2 hours to go from the tent to here. Deeplum thinks if he builds a barracks here it will definitely. Very cool. But food is the main problem now. It's not time to relocate yet. Tantheon gave Deeplum the task of finding young bamboo shoots. This very large bamboo forest. So of course there are a lot of bamboo shoots. Deeplum decided to only take small bamboo shoots to conveniently bring them home. This degree, probably enough to eat for a while. The wild boars suddenly appeared. Scared Deeplum. Quickly ran back. Report this to Tantheon. I'm sure you're not mistaken. I saw very clearly about 7 or 8 animals. Let's go. We have to leave this place quickly. Although wild boars are not carnivores, but are very aggressive, this couple is not known to each other. But since they got lost on the deserted island, they were forced to rely on each other to survive. They even slept together at night. But whether they did anything else I don't know. That day they both happened to come across a herd wild boar in the bamboo garden. They are very aggressive animals and have few opponents. In rare cases, can even bite the entire species to death. Foreshadowing their fierce pursuit, Deeplum chose to stay, didn't want to involve Tantheon. But Tantheon couldn't bear to leave her behind. He faced a herd of wild boars, roaring like a wolf. Scare them. Pigs when walking in groups are extremely cowardly. None of them want to rush forward and take the loss. Tantheon, throw a stone axe in their faces. Successfully scare them and run away. I thought it was safe this time. I didn't expect, when I went to pick up the axe, Tantheon again saw a stray wild boar with wounds on his body. Really spent. Wild boars that stray from the herd will fall into a state of fear. Extremely violent. Once he feels he is in danger, will immediately risk his life. Today is a bang, or why is it so black I don't know. Tantheon lured the wild boar away, creating an opportunity for Deeplum to escape. And then immediately activate the cheetah's speed talent. Escape at a speed of 100 kilometers per hour. Even if the wild boar had a rocket attached to its butt, it would not necessarily be able to catch up. But this kind of speed is very physically draining. Speeding up can only last 3 minutes at most. That pig, buffalo dog, didn't expect it to hold on so hard. Tanthian didn't have the strength to run anymore, so he had to climb a tree to temporarily hide. This pig times followed the scent and discovered that Tanthian was on a tree. But he didn't know how to climb trees. Tried to forcefully hit the trunk. Although the tree shook violently, it was clearly not that easy to cut down. The wild boar helplessly walked away. Look at its appearance. It weighs probably about 100 pounds. If possible, kill it and make bacon. At least it should last a month. Seeing how weak it is already, Tanthian risked his life and jumped down, provoking the pig. So he sped up and rushed in, waiting until the opportunity was right. Tanthian immediately moved aside, letting the pig crash straight into the big tree, his head spinning like a propeller. Seeing that it wasn't dead yet, he jumped up and stabbed me in the head again. The wild boar tried to resist, but his belly was big. Baby. After a long struggle, Tanthian finally finished dealing with the wild boar. Now it's impossible to bring it back for a while, because it's too heavy, and it's already dark. Tanthian temporarily hid the pig. Avoid being robbed by other wild animals. Deeplum has now returned to the tent, quickly made another axe, and also prepared a few bags of black ash to throw at the wild boars later. But now I probably don't need it anymore, because Tanthian has returned. I'm okay. Are you injured anywhere? You look at me like I'm injured. That's so good. It's so good. Stop hugging each other. Why are you so wet? Newly bathed outfit. Hey brother, why are you suddenly taking off your pants? Ah, I understand. Turns out he wanted his pants to dry. Tanthian told Deeplum to turn over here and look, then immediately showed off his penis. What are you doing? Why do you say I can't take off my pants? Thinking about it is a pity. Bamboo forests have so many edible bamboo shoots, but was taken over by wild boars. Instead of being afraid of them, Tanthian decided to take care of them with a quality bamboo bow and arrow. Woke up early in the morning. Tanthian rushed to the wild boar. Certainly seen. It was eaten by a few pieces by wild animals, but fortunately there was a lot of meat left. Tanthian prioritized cutting off the thigh first, then immediately brought it back to the tent before the cheetah's talent disappears. Deeplum is currently grinding a rabbit bone. Tanthian was startled and stabbed him in the arm. Do you want to scare me to death? Then inherit the property I don't. Sorry. Do. These are 4 large pork thighs, cut down from the pig's body. That's enough for us to eat for a week. Right? If we eat sparingly, half a month won't be a problem. Tanthian specially brought back some lard to fry into animal oil. But if you want to fry it, you also need it pot. Tanthian make a lump of clay. There are 6 main ways to make pottery. One is to shape it with your hands and the other is to use mud fibers to form it. Third is to use mud sheets. 4 is mold pulling. 5 is mold casting and 6 is mold pressing. Tanthian felt that method 2 was the easiest, so he immediately chose it. And right here is the result. Open your eyes wide and look. It looks no different from buffalo dung, no. If compared in terms of softness and dexterity, it's clear that the sisters are much better. Tanthian just molded. The lump of dirt has already bloomed with pride. Until looking at Deeplum products, was immediately surprised. At this level, I want to weigh big pots. I can only hope to quit Deeplum so. Tanthian changes his job to work in a kiln for dry firing. The products have just been created. It's already afternoon. Let's continue tomorrow. I've caught a lot of fish these past few days. Not to mention there are a dozen pounds of dried pork left over. Enough to eat for a long time. The necessary goal now is to improve life. What's the matter, you scent so brightly? Oh, am I laughing? My clothes are about to fall apart. Even if I'm lucky, I can only sew temporarily. Looks like it's going to take a few more days. Must do something to help teeth become stronger. Tanthian has thought of a way. Using crushed tree branches to make a toothbrush, and charcoal to make toothpaste. Although it cannot be equal to toothpaste, but can still bring certain effects. Next, we will both start firing the ceramics. These games are really not easy at all. If you want to be successful, You must bake for at least 5 hours. Then let it cool slowly to avoid cracking. While Tantheon sits firing, Deeplum went to squeeze a few more. Damn, oh really? Been trying all day but only one succeeded. To increase the success rate, Tantheon smashed the fired pottery and mixed it with clay. At midnight, Deeplum is still trying to shape a few more large pots. After all day, burning Tantheon ceramics gained a lot of experience. Thanks to that, the firing was quite successful. The next day, the weather was a bit tense. But it was okay and we could still leisurely sit and cook lard. Then I got addicted to martial arts again. So it can be made into soap. Oh, soap. You mean soap. What's the matter? The main ingredient of all seashells is calcium carbonate. Say so. From there, creating soap is a complicated process. Roughly, you will have to heat the seashells. Then, mix it with charcoal and ash. Create a yellow solution. Then mix it with lard. That's it. The heavy rain is approaching. Must quickly reinforce the new base. Deeplum just got out of the shower. Feels this soap is very good. Even if you use shampoo, your hair will be a bit dry. This is for you. This is what I do. Thank you. For this wild boar skin for you to handle. Use a knife to scrape off broken membranes and scraps of meat. Avoid rotting. Tantheon din next will be a bamboo bow. Usually the best materials will be bamboo that has been dry for 2 years. Avoid being transformed. Form but on this deserted island. Where can you find? Tantheon so temporarily use fresh bamboo to make. The first step is to shape the bow. Thunder and lightning rumble, signaling the coming rain. Tantheon and Deeplum saw that. Quickly put everything important into the tent. Deeplum had some doubts. Tantheon is a scholar and hides his profession. Because it is here that soap is made. Is not a simple matter. Actually, all knowledge is given by the system. But Tantheon did not say anything. I said I was just reading a few random books. Should know. While sleeping, Tantheon heard a strange sound. So he immediately woke up Deeplum. Then took off the roof. Tantheon, I don't know what happened in the end. But we are certainly in danger. Tantheon and Deeplum hid in the tree. After looking for a while, saw a herd of crazy animals running by, including a bunch of aggressive wild boars. It is estimated that there were about 20 animals. In addition, 2 animals were seriously injured. When I'm not lying down and breathing, I don't know what kind of beast it is. Could cause such a terrible wound. Deeplum's body temperature is dropping very fast. So it feels very cold. Can't just sit here and wait to die. Tantheon threw his shoes down. Successfully scared 2 wild boars away. Now let's go down. I'm ready. You jump down. I'll jump here. Deeplum unfortunately slipped and fell straight down, at the same time pressing a pair of grapefruits on Tantheon's face. Fortunately no injuries occurred. Both quickly cleaned everything up. The bunnies haven't escaped yet. The soap is all broken, but can be rebuilt quickly. Hand over your underwear. Don't wash together. Can you save some soap? Underwear alone is a no-no. Last night's heavy rain caused the stream to rise a lot. The fish pond therefore sank. Luckily the fish cage was still there. All my clothes are wet. Tantheon had to give me these pants instead. Tonight those wild boars won't come anymore. It doesn't matter if you come. The movement of those pigs running was so loud. We can completely avoid. Deeplum and Tantheon, each person took turns staying on duty half the night. To fight the pigs. That forest. Tantheon is determined to finish the bow tonight. The power of the bow comes from the bow, not the bowstring. So the bowstring must be elastic. Using the sinew of a wild boar to make it is probably the most feasible choice at the moment. The bow is complete. At first glance, the trom is quite good. Next, I have to make more arrows. After rounding, you can put it in the fire and burn it. Grind it into a sharp arrow. Method 2 is to use a sharp stone as the tip of the arrow. Obviously this way is somewhat better than, but also takes more time. Tantheon is awarded 2,000 points by the system after completing the bow and arrow. If totaled up, currently have 11,000 points. Can be used to exchange for animal abilities. Although cheetahs are very fast, they consume too much physical strength. If it were the strength of a buffalo, it will be easier to deal with wild boars. But it's only one-on-one. But if you get beaten up, you still have to run. I'm so confused. Let's go. Let's choose the ability of a cheater. If we get beaten by the council, we can still hug Deeplam and run away. This morning, the two of them tidied up the place again. Use it for the next 2 days. Create enough pottery for daily use. On the third day, Tanthian just had time to practice archery. At first he wasn't used to shooting, so he only shot in vain. But of course after that he became much more accurate. On the fourth day, Tanthian went into the forest to look for food. Accidentally saw a barrel tree tadpoles. Because there are tadpoles living in the middle of the tree. That's why it has such a name. Tanthian went to the bamboo forest to pick some bamboo shoots to take home to eat. Unexpectedly he was lucky. Saw some wild chickens. Looks like there's chicken soup to drink today. Tanthian thinks so, but in reality it's not that easy. Because his level is not high, so he kept shooting and still didn't see them. Until he got closer. Him can only succeed. Get 200 extra points from the system. And these chickens are so stupid. React to danger quite slowly. Thanks to that, Tanthian was able to catch 2. After returning home, immediately put them in the pot to cook soup. Deeplam blew on the air and took a bite to try. It was really delicious, so delicious. The chicken was as rich as chicken. Combined with bamboo shoots, it's even more perfect. If there was a little more salt, then it's even better. Oh well, forget that there is no salt on a deserted island. See, she wants salt so much. Tanthian had to indulge Theo. Tomorrow go to the beach to make salt. This chicken feather is also good. Can make the tail of an arrow. Today's sea is still as salty as yesterday. If you want salt, just boil seawater until it dries. A pot of seawater has about 200 grams of salt. Probably enough to eat for about half a month. Now you know why. You shouldn't drink seawater. Salt, if you want to eat it, you have to filter it. Remove impurities. Otherwise it will taste bitter. If you want to filter it, it's not too difficult. Just dissolve the salt with water. Then filter it, according to the following formula. Just do it this way. It's not a waste of time. It's already 6 p.m. Deeplam eating chicken soup. Stupid about all the silk. Yes, it's because it's so delicious. It's true that anything with salt tastes better. But your reaction is also too outrageous. 22 days have passed since the first time Tanthian and Deeplam got lost here. This banana leaf tent is so full of sugarcane. Deeplam thinks it should be converted into a bamboo house. Or a wooden house of some kind for more sturdiness. Can hide when attacked by wild animals. Tanthian also thinks so, but needs to relocate to a better place. Satisfied. This couple. It's been a month since I got lost on a deserted island. At first they had quite a bit of difficulty getting food. Although it's much better now. But a lot of things still need to be improved. That day Tanthian went looking for a new campsite. This was not easy at all. Had to explore for 4 days. Tanthian was lucky enough to find a cave. For fear of wild animals inside. So he shot a few arrows to check it out. Then felt secure going in. And discovered a lot of animal bones. The owner of the cave suddenly appeared at this time. Attack Tanthian. It's a panda. Must remember the leopard skills. Tanthian, to be able to escape, gave the panda a bamboo to eat. But strangely it didn't want to eat it. Roared angrily. Chased Tanthian. But for a while I couldn't see Tanthian anywhere. It turned out he was hiding in a tree. Aiming the arrow straight at the bear. But it's just like scratching an itch for it. Tanthian, so I have to run away again. Distract the bear. Then shoot a stronger stone arrow. This time it was indeed effective. The angry bear's face turned red. Splashed Tanthian. Luckily he dodged in time. Otherwise, I would like to say goodbye to. After returning to the tent, Tanthian told Deeplam everything. That panda is very different from modern pandas. To deal with it, Tanthian plans to melt the belt buckle off. To make an arrow, tie a string at the tail. After being fired, it can be pulled back. The melting point of iron is 500 degrees Celsius, while the maximum temperature for burning wood is only 700 degrees. So if you want to melt iron, you have to invent a windblower. Tanthian plans to make the windbox rotate. The theory is exactly like the picture. Deeplam also doesn't sit idle. Use a knife to make a mold for an arrow. Ha ha, keep going like that and you'll have to strip naked later. I'm fine, you're not really scared. Because of the temperature 500. So of course it was very hot. We had to try hard to endure it. Both of us could successfully melt the iron. Oh my sister, its soul is gone. After pouring molten iron into the mold, Tantheon will receive an additional 500 points from the system. Because the iron arrow has been completed, now only needs to be sharpened. Tantheon sharpened it in the night. Look at his sleepy face. This is Tantheon's iron arrow after completion. He now has 700 points. Just enough to buy an animal encyclopedia, plus a pure animal encyclopedia. After confirming, the information went straight to Tantheon's head. But the beast taming encyclopedia is a bit strange. When confronting the kuzu, you must be alert. Wait until it kicks. You can immediately slide down. Use the big anal technique. But this move is a bit strange. Hippos have large, round bodies. The terrifying bite force cannot be fought directly. So when encountering them, you must immediately go around its back. Then slide the shovel down. Fiercely attack its balls. Punch until it's crushed. Chimpanzee, considered a very strong animal in nature. But it's extremely easy to deal with. Just provoking it in its face. Waiting for it to rush in madly. Then took that opportunity to slide the shovel. Took the AK-47 loaded with bullets. White okay. Wow, it's real. I don't know who wrote the book. This book. I'm punching the ball out of the water. Dawn has already risen. After breakfast, Tantheon set out to go to the bear's den. Shot 2 wooden arrows into it to explore. The bear was not at home at the moment. Looked back several times. Saw it at his feet. According to Encyclopedia Analysis Animal. Then this is the primitive panda. First appeared in 8,000 years ago. Eat meat, not vegetarian. In other words, it is a prehistoric creature. The system says, can tame it in 2 months. But first we have to control it. What if you slip on a shovel and punch a quail egg? That's it. It's still better to have a physical anesthetic. Tantheon aim the arrow straight at the fat bear's leg. Then, pull the string to retrieve the arrow. Bear hurts paw roared angrily. Tried to chase Tantheon, but couldn't catch up. Even then Tantheon, shoot for more capture. The plan was successful. Tantheon is also exhausted. So he temporarily withdraws before. The following days, every day Tantheon comes to shoot the fat bear's butt, thinking that the rain will soak for a long time. But on the 4th day, Tantheon was suddenly ambushed by a fat bear. Luckily he dodged in time. During the fight, an iron arrow, which was unfortunately damaged, so now only the spare nose is left. It was raining lightly that day. Tantheon wandered in the forest. Luckily found the poison dart frog. A jade green frog. Skin contains deadly poison, thanks to eating poisonous ants and spiders. And then accumulating. Has the ability to cause muscle paralysis and respiratory failure. The time has really come. Indigenous people often use this frog's poison to hunt large animals. That also means, can use this to confront that fat bear. Noticed that the rain was gradually getting heavier. Tantheon decided to return to the tent. Immediately received Deeplem's warm hug as soon as he returned. Sorry for making her scared then. Who said I was scared? I'm just worried about you. This frog is so beautiful. It's not poisonous. Tantheon said frogs are more colorful. The poison will be stronger. Similar to poisonous mushrooms. Early in the morning, Tantheon grilled the poison frog over the fire. Waited until the poison flowed out. Then applied it to the prepared arrows. Besides this, Tantheon also has it. Thanks to Deeplem. Make me some more primitive smoke bombs. As soon as I arrived, the fat bear's cave, I threw them all inside. The smoke was so thick. Made the fat bear unable to breathe. Got mad and ran out to chase Tantheon. After luring him into the jungle, Tantheon sneaked to the side. Shot a poisoned arrow into the fat bear's butt. So he got mad and attacked again. Was shot by Tantheon again. This bear was injured so much. But still crazy, so crazy. Luckily at the last minute, it collapsed. An hour passed. 2 hours passed. 3 hours passed. So after 3 hours the fat bear could limp around. Early the next morning, Tantheon brought 3 fish and some bamboo shoots to the cave. Saw the fat bear lying down to dry his butt in that. Seems quite stupid, just like his modern-day descendants. Tantheon stuffed bamboo shoots into the fish. Then threw it for him to eat. Fat bear is still very spicy, this guy. I wanted to bite him. But I didn't have the strength to move anymore. Seeing the delicious fish, it immediately grabbed it and ate it. Although it doesn't look very smart, but the fighting power is very strong after taming. Can definitely become a good assistant. Hey fat bear, he's still there. If you want to eat, you should be a little more obedient. Fat bear's face looks quite happy. Probably fasted all night last night. Tantheon plans to name it. But I haven't come up with a suitable name yet. Oh my god, this fat girl. After eating, I fell asleep. I hope it won't be affected by the Gao Silver effect. Stupid, is that stupid? Tantheon gave it a cruel name, which means stupid in Korean. During dinner, Tantheon told Deeplum this story. But because the name is so bad, at that time, people often put plants in water, wait until it rots under the influence of microorganisms, then pick it up on a drying rack, turn it into paper. Woke up in the morning. Deeplum smelled something very foul. When asked, I found out it was Tantheon's urine. Do you still have this hobby? God said this is the material used to make paper. Asked Deeplum to help braid a few more prices. That's enough. Now I don't understand what Tantheon is doing. Explain it further. You probably won't understand, so that's it. But basically, Tantheon is making paper, in a modern style. Shorten the time to create. Mix all the chemical solutions. Pick a sufficient amount of grass. Then mix it into the solution. Under chemical reaction, the grass will quickly turn into white powder. The next thing to do is wash it. Then add a little clean water and stir well. Scoop out a thin layer on the rack. Then let it dry again and you're good to go. The host creates the received paper 1,000 points. Because there is no bleach, it turns a bit yellow. Moreover, it is rougher and thicker than normal paper. Luckily it is flexible, used to wipe the butt. It is true that all 7 children in the 7th sister's family say goodbye to leaves. Butt doesn't need to be blamed anymore. While eating, don't talk about those things. 3 days have passed. Tantheon only had time to visit the penis today. Oh my god, this fat guy is sleeping again. He was quite wary at first, but saw some fish. Immediately turned around very quickly. The smell is quite neat. This fish eats it hard on the skin. Wait a few days and you'll get used to it. I'll let you eat grass too. Let's go home first. Wife is still waiting at home. 2 hours have passed. Tantheon followed the stream, looking for some ginger plants. Oh hi. Here. Ginger is a perennial herb. 4,080 centimeter tall stem. Long growth cycle. It takes 3 years to harvest. Ginger has anti-fatigue effects. Nourishes the kidneys and strengthens the yang. This clearly goes without saying. Deeplum is currently having a lot of menstrual cramps. Normally it doesn't hurt that much. But today I don't understand why. Before, Deeplum often relieves pain by applying heat. Then drink some egg red tea. Tantheon of course doesn't have any of those things. Just a little ginger tea. Saw people already had it. With such a heart, Deeplum had no reason to refuse. After nearly a month of taming the skin, Tantheon gradually changed its diet to vegetarian. After a while, we became acquaintances. Another half a month has passed. Today there are only bamboo shoots. Eat it quickly. It's so fresh and delicious. The skin didn't like it at first, but after eating, it feels so delicious again. The taming mission seems to have been successful. The system appeared, gave Tantheon a seal slave. It has the ability to connect with pets. To recognize further physical condition upon successful connection. Pets will never be able to cause harm to the user. Tantheon directly prints the mark on the user. That's it. Starting today your name will be Fam Bai. And I will be your master. You know. Today, Tantheon brought along. Deeplum came to get acquainted with the dermis. Not long ago, they have become close friends. Lying like this is a bit of a turn-off. Besides bamboo shoots, fat bears can also eat bamboo. Well, that's right. It is the ancestor of pandas. In the near future, Tantheon plans to move to the cave. Both of them has gathered all his belongings. Now I have to go and really feel unable to bear it. But still have to move forward. Because a bright future is calling us. Musashi aren't she? Sorry everyone. I'm a bit lost. The sky is so gorgeous tonight. How can see the whole galaxy with my own eyes? Tantheon said his hometown is even more beautiful. Because today we have a case of erectile dysfunction. So we both don't need to be on night duty anymore. Which means we can sleep together. What's the matter? Do you want to be my girlfriend? Who said I want to be your girlfriend? Tantheon, what do you want to do? Don't be like that. I'm not ready yet. Deeplam pretended to resist. But young Tantheon did nothing. Oh wow, it's really spicy. The cat's mouth is already dirty. But if you don't slurp it, you won't slurp it. Second day moving to the cave. Tantheon and Deeplam dug a pile of mud in front of the house to create more necessary items. The river near the cave is very wide, but the water is quite shallow. No big fish. Tantheon therefore had to find a deeper part of the river. On the third day, the whole family went to the bamboo garden to collect bamboo, planning to build a kitchen. Oh, this brat. After finishing work, we must eat. Time flies. Our house is almost completed now. Hard work for another week. Finally finished building the kitchen. Recently, Tantheon has collected quite a lot of points. Thanks to that, I can exchange the botanical encyclopedia. Let's go. Today, I will take you to get acquainted with the surrounding environment. The river water in this place is very cool and pleasant. Deeplam happily playing in the water. Unlucky. Step on something, leading to foot pain. Picked it up and saw an ice jade. But it was actually quartz. Can be used to make glass. This couple has been lost on a deserted island for several months. After many days of trying to build, they have gradually stabilized their life, making sturdy bamboo houses. Today now Tantheon and Deeplam decided to go to the upstream to look for some more diverse plants. Just left not long ago. They found the bow tree. Conclude. Their fruits are rich in soap. Can fight up to wash clothes. Used to wash hair is also extremely good. Found that Deeplam really wants it. Tantheon. Turn on cheetah's natural talent. Jump straight up high. Outside used to wash. Output. The intestines of locusts can also be eaten. Tantheon buckle up. Climb down each fruit. And then discovered the sugarcane garden in the distance. Both of them so quickly went to the sugarcane garden. Deeplam innocently touched the sugarcane leaves. The result because it cut his hand. It must be. Sugarcane leaves are sharper than a knife. But Tantheon tried chopping one down. This is red sugarcane. The hard shell is so hard that it breaks off. Using it to squeeze juice would be more reasonable. After returning home, the two started to get the white rice in the locust fruit. It contains 8 essential amino acids. But getting them out is not easy. The shell is hard so it hurts my hands. Let's eat rice. The taste of locust rice is really not bad at all. Just a pity there is too little. Enough to eat a few meals. Tantheon is squeezing sugarcane juice to make sugar. A busy day. Finally finished. But before the road was built, I have to filter through it once to get it. Tantheon, I'm back. Look what I found. Complimented me on the way back. I spent a lot of time picking it. Yes, very good. Super powerful beauty. Among all these mushrooms, Tantheon discovered quite a few poisonous mushrooms. First is the white poison umbrella mushroom. When young it has an egg shape. When mature, it opens into an umbrella shape. Its toxicity can cause weakness of vital muscles, leading to a mortality rate of up to 95%. This orange mushroom is a fly-killing canopy mushroom, containing quite a strong neurotoxin. And this is a hallucinogenic mushroom. Even though you won't die eating it, you will get stoned. Causes extremely strong hallucinations. This mushroom is chanterelle mushroom. The whole body is bright yellow but not poisonous. Very rich in vitamin C and carotene. After removing poisonous mushrooms, I can only have this much left over. In the next few days, Tantheon plans to make toothpaste and shampoo. The recipe is very easy to understand. Just seeing it immediately. Making ginger juice is too simple. If you want to make coconut oil, you have to squeeze the water out of the coconut meat. Then boil it for about 30 minutes. Making mint oil is a bit more troublesome. Basically, you have to steam the mint leaves. Steam comes out from there. After condensation, it will turn into peppermint oil. All the ingredients are there. Now, just mix according to the formula with the ratio of 5 years. Will produce toothpaste and shampoo. Deeplam missed his shiny hair so much. That night while sleeping, Tantheon woke up startled when I heard sinister laughter. Shiny hair shampoo. He so scared. I thought it was something. That night it suddenly started raining heavily. Hambai didn't seem to be very comfortable. He was unusually alert. Tantheon, So read its memories. Discovered pictures of many wild boars. Tantheon. He said that herd of wild boars would really appear again. Why not clear? But I have a feeling that if it really appears, you have to obediently stay in here. After a while, the wild boars actually came to us. The dog's skin rushed up through the pan into the pig's mouth. But there are quite a few of them. Immediately take advantage. That fights back. Surrounded on all sides. Even so it still did not back down. Roared fiercely. Gently kissed the boar's nape. Tantheon, don't sit still at this time. Hold a bow and shoot wild boars. Assist in breaking. Poisonous arrows. Paralyzes wild boars. Immediately. Tantheon, there are only 3 shots left. So must ensure accuracy in the word arrow. 3 more wild boars were killed. Alarming the others. They have since discovered Tantheon. Raced to chase, but couldn't catch up with the speed of the cheetah. Tantheon easily cut him off. Hiding safely on a tree. It was still raining heavily. Face the power of the beast. The pigs are afraid to fight anymore. Turn away and run away. Calm down, my friend. The battle is over. A total of 4 wild boars were defeated. Wait until dawn. Diplom and Tantheon dragged them into the kitchen. If you want to deal with them, it won't be finished until evening. Tantheon temporarily wants to go to the bamboo forest to collect bamboo shoots first. To replenish energy for the dermis. After last night's fierce battle, noticed that bamboo shoots at the edge of the bamboo forest were too few. So Tantheon went deeper, and then suddenly, saw a very horrifying scene. The road clearly shows a long streak. It's like a roller coaster just ran over. Tantheon didn't dare to be more curious. Hastily left the bamboo forest. But when he turned back, saw a giant python lying right in front of his eyes. It is an Manhwa python. Largest python ever known. And has been extinct since 58,000,005 ago. The average size can be up to 12 meters long. Weighs about more than a ton. Just run. Just run. Run as fast as you can. Originally, thinking that a primitive panda appeared on the island was already very strange. I didn't expect that now a great python would appear. The system said Manhwa pythons don't have any legs, but still runs very fast and is physically very strong. Wanting to escape seems impossible. So when encountering this python species, we have to rush straight towards it, then jump into its mouth. Don't worry, most python species swallow food alive. Once inside, could use a disemboweling knife to go out and take down the python. Damn it, I don't believe it. It's better to run. See a slope. Tantheon slides straight down. Avoid. The giant python's sight giant. Unfortunately, the poison arrow ran out last night. Moreover, it is unlikely to be effective on this python. The current situation is really like 1,000 pounds of noodles hanging. I'm about to be discovered by it. Tantheon has no other choice. Risking his life to jump out. Crashing into the python's body. Making it writhe in pain endlessly. Although this method still cannot kill it. But it can't even bite Tantheon. After an hour of non-stop movement. Python headline. And Nova went to the wild boar's den. Saw this guy was fat and chubby. Immediately gave him a death kiss. Tantheon jumped off the python at that moment. Took the opportunity to escape. After only a few seconds. The python, the wild boar, was wrapped tightly to the bone. Tantheon was so worried. Slipped and fell into the mud. Luckily it was okay. But at this rate it would be dangerous. Tantheon put his hope in the system. But in the end, only one slave seal can be drawn. It's really unbearable. The wild boars are still right over there. Thought they wouldn't be discovered. But the next second, was discovered already. Tantheon intended to scare it like last time. But it didn't effective. So I had to turn around and run away. Seeing the pile of excrement right in front of my eyes. Tantheon regardless. Everyone jumped straight in. The smell was so foul. But thanks to that, I escaped the pursuit chased by the wild boars. Just didn't expect them to sleep here, staying in this pile of dung for a long time. It's like wearing a cotton blanket in the middle of summer. It's so hot. Tantheon plans to wait until almost morning, and then escape this place. Saw the fire from afar. He thought he was hallucinating, but that fire was actually Diplom. Saw Tantheon in the pile of dung, accompanied by a few pigs. Diplom immediately rushed forward on horseback. Chased them all away. Looks cool like a warrior goddess. Stay away from that pig, don't let me get hot. If you're hot you'll turn on the air conditioner. Tantheon, are you okay? Thanks to you, I'm okay. But I'm very dirty so don't come closer. Tantheon, exhausted and almost fell down. So shy, I didn't have dinner last night. Being so hungry that you get dizzy at night is very dangerous. I have to get out of here quickly. Deeplum, please try harder. Carry us both back to the tent. Hug me tightly and be careful falling down. Oh, hug then hug. What but this feeling is not bad. NYA. After 2 hours of traveling, the three finally left the bamboo forest. Go to the river near the barracks. I also want to bathe, you don't come here and there. After escaping danger, Tantheon's fatigue flowed out like a flood. I don't want to move anymore. But I don't know if I peaked or not. After returning to the barracks, Deeplum couldn't help but lie down and sleep on the bed. And Tantheon was so hungry. Should come kitchen. When he saw the wild boar's intestines pulled out, he thought there was some wild animal in here. But it turned out it was Deeplum's doing. To use lard to make a torch. Tantheon didn't dare to think that she would be so brave. Her leg suddenly hurt, causing Tantheon to sit down. Looks like she needs to recuperate for a while. The host completed her mission, escape from the snake's mouth. Received 7,000 points. Tantheon called Deeplum to wake up to eat locust rice. But she seemed very tired already. Needed to rest a little longer. Tantheon was also exhausted now. Temporarily covered some banana leaves. Sleep, keep it warm. While eating dinner, Tantheon said, with Deeplum about the python headline and Nova. That's really worrying. Are we in danger here? If the python wants to appear, it's been around for a long time. So what will happen to the food of the Braderm in the future? I went deep into the bamboo forest to see that trace. If I only work at the edge of the forest, then there probably won't be any problem. Tantheon thanks Deeplum for being brave enough to come and save me yesterday. Looks so gentle. Actually, this is very powerful. This morning, Tantheon had to finish dealing with the pigs before they become rotten. But with Deeplum's help, busy working half a day, I've only just lightly processed one animal. Pork is not easy to get. Tantheon therefore doesn't miss anything. Internal organs to large bones. You take them all for processing. After 3 busy days in a row, Tantheon was able to deal with all the wild boars. On the 4th day, the bacon was suddenly stolen. But strangely, there were no animal footprints at all. The skin was lost in sleep. So it can't be it. Besides, when a wild animal comes near, his instincts immediately felt that it seemed like he would have to stay overnight. Tonight to find out the reason. Then, Tantheon sleeps until 10 p.m. Prepares himself for staying up all night. Then makes another bowl of mint porridge to stay awake. 4 wild boars. At least more than 300 pounds of meat. Enough to eat for half a year. Not to mention their skin can also be used to make clothes. But before that, need to clarify the disappearance of meat. Tantheon stayed up until dawn. Still haven't seen the meat thief. Thought tonight would be empty-handed. Then an eagle suddenly flew down. It belongs to the golden eagle species. Body length 1 meter. Wingspan 2 meters long. Maximum speed can reach 320 kilometers per hour. After finding prey, it will immediately rush down with sharp claws. Straight into the target. The system says there are 2 ways to tame the golden eagle. One is to adopt it from a young age. Provide affection and train it until adulthood. 2 is to wake it up and make it sleepy. Until the wildness disappears. Perhaps Tuang Kui and Tu Long knew. Also secluded themselves on this island. Oh my god, it's your number. When we sit down to eat. Is the thief a golden eagle? Is a very large golden eagle. No wonder it can silently take away the smoked meat. This evening, Tantheon intends to set a trap to catch the golden eagle. Then tame it. The structure of the basic trap will be like this. Tantheon came to the first test. But it seems not very successful. Tried to press harder. So, it shot me in the mouth. Cut your skin here. Thick skin and fat meat. Probably won't get hurt. Just using this kind of force is a bit too much. Already, looks like there's still a lot of room for improvement. Early the next morning, the golden eagle indeed came again. Saw the big fish. It immediately swooped down, at a speed of 300 kilometers per hour. And then immediately fell into Tantheon's trap. Tantheon was in no hurry. Waited for it to struggle until its strength was exhausted. then gently approached. Is this the golden eagle? This one is so big it's taller than my waist. I'm sure it's not because I have short legs. Oh my god, this bear. His face looks like a thief. Say whatever you want. This eagle is still bigger. Compared to average size. Too many must not be the normal type. Oh, why is the name golden eagle? But its feathers are brown, so yes. It's a sand eagle. It doesn't have sand in its brain. That's right, sand eagle. Hey, it's not like I was going to name it Satyr, but this name, Satyr, sounds fine. If you put it as a brother, it sounds very similar. Starting today, your name will be Shu. The eagle shows his hot blood. He looks like you're also very satisfied with this name. Tanthian was planning to marry a slave and sign it on the eagle's body. But it didn't work, because it hasn't been tamed yet. Tanthian and Deeplum plan to take turns staying up, torturing the golden eagle, until it is tamed. Then, Deeplum will be in charge during the day, and Tanthian will be in charge at night. Noon on the first day. The brother intends to bite the rope to escape, but the degenerate is still here on duty. Run. How can you run? On the night of the second day, Tanthian successfully manufactures toothbrushes. Get 200 extra points from the system. Whatever it looks like, see how long you can persevere. Tuesday morning. Brother Jia is so sleepy. But the fat bear won't let him sleep. He was startled when he was scared. The night of the fourth day. The fat bear got knocked on the head by Tanthian. Keep an eye on the brother. Thursday morning. The brother is so sleepy that he wants to put out both eyes. Surrender soon. I'll let you sleep. The brother can't stand it anymore when he gets here. Accept and bow your head to submit to Tanthian. Tanthian immediately followed. Linked slave seal. After the slave seal activates system, a notification starts appearing. The host has been tamed. The golden eagle got 5,000 points, followed by countless memories of the sandbird appearing before Tanthian's eyes. Deeplum heard it outside. There was a noise and I immediately ran out to see if the bird was tamed just like that. Even faster than expected. Yes, basically the ostrich is worried about its baby. After listening to him, Deeplum was a little curious. How did you know that he had a child? Knowing that I just had a mosquito faster than my brain, Tanthian had to use his clever mouth. Then dance for her. Golden eagle breeding season is usually spring and summer. If not unexpected, surely this also has its own children. Deeplum heard Tanthian dance his tongue. Then happily spoke up. That's good. If possible, bring the ostrich's children home to raise them. Then we have 2 golden eagles. I saw that she really believed what I said. Tanthian commented. I also think so. So I plan to rest for a day today. Tomorrow let the sandbird take us home. Finished speaking, Tanthian held out his hand for the sandbird to perch on. Look away. The bird landing on Tanthian's hand is also a bit cool. Made Deeplum a little curious. Plus a little itchy hands. I want to touch that fur. Tried it once. But before I could touch it, the sandbird said, no. Makes little lamb scared and sweating to speak. Why can you stroke it and I can't? Shouldn't we tame it together? Hear her say that. Tanthian could only answer indifferently. Probably because the golden eagle has finally tamed me. Deeplum heard Tanthian's banana reason. Then you get angry. But the aesthetic has an old CC, you just stand there and watch me. After a while the roller coaster left. The baby came back with 2 fish hanging on his hand. Make the ostrich see. Silently thought in my head. It's a real antithesis. Tanthian looked at the tamed eagle. I'm speechless even thinking about it. The golden eagle has such aura. Walk around like a hen. Calling you a bird is not wrong at all. After resting for a day, 2 people, Tanthian and Deeplum, have also been mentally nourished. Early in the morning, they immediately prepared their things to go away. Through the slave seal, Tanthian learned that the sandbird's children were all unhappy. Fell from the nest, although not dead yet, but fell between the gaps in the cliff. This time, it's not that the golden eagle doesn't try to save, but because its body is too big, can't get into the gap. So just every day guarding beside the bird. Before that, the ostrich left enough food for its children. So no need to worry about it starving to death. The baby's soup is not yet fully grown. It is inherently difficult to withstand low humid temperatures at night. If it rains at this time on the deserted island, then the baby bird will definitely log out. So Tanthian people need to get there quickly. But after walking all day they were still in the forest. Saw the sun starting to go down the mountain. Tanthian and everyone decided to stop, rest and eat. After lighting the fire, Tanthian began to sprinkle lime from shell powder. Sprinkle around. This powder can repel insects to a certain extent. Although the effect is not as good as hung hoang. But it's better than nothing. The food is already cooked. The two of them ate together. While eating, Deeplum mentioned the breadth of this forest is really too big. They were gone all day, but haven't reached the outside yet. Heard Deeplum say that. Tanthian also sat and pondered and thought. The average speed of pedestrians is about 4,000 m a day. 10 hours at least. Can go 40 kilometers. Even though Deeplum and I have things on us. Furthermore, the forest road is a bit slower. But even so today at least I could walk 20 kilometers. So it follows that this forest is extremely big. Just a forest is already that big. So the desert island carrying it will be much bigger. The rescue team couldn't find such a big island. Or say there is an island this big in the world. But was not detected. Deeplum saw that he was attentive as if he was still in the mood. Then also asked curiously what he was thinking. Heard Deeplum summarize the question like that. Tanthian also did not forget to seize the opportunity. And threatened her with a few words. I'm thinking. Do we ever encounter wild animals? Hey, it's so difficult, but even you can think of it. Then the rice is already eaten. It was already dark. The two of them took the opportunity to rest by the fire. Dreaming of themselves. Just one Vietlot when suddenly there was a noise. Startled Cho Tanthian awake. Both of them woke up. Turning around, I saw Ham Bai growling. Something in the forest. In the dark there are many dots. The glowing green was staring at them. Then, Tanthian is not okay. It's a wild wolf. Saw them approaching. Then Deeplum panicked and spoke loudly. Seeing her so panicked. Then Tanthian spoke up reassuringly. Don't panic. There's Hamtar here. They don't dare to attack arbitrarily. I feel like they can't sleep at night. But ran here, looking at me. I got angry and roared loudly. Seeing that, Tanthian just finished reassuring him. People had to turn to the panda case again. Don't be reckless. Wolves are cooperative animals. Unlike poorly bathed pigs that only know how to rush indiscriminately. If positioned according to royalty. Ham has thick skin and fatty meat. Would be equivalent to a tank. Deeplum and I are equivalent to being gunners and assistants. The wolves are equivalent to the soldiers. If the hams are the tanks leaving. Me and Deeplum alone. You will always be attacked by wild wolves and log out. Unfortunately, when a bird falls at night, he becomes blind. Otherwise, there's no need to be so afraid of these wolves. The tension in the brain. Suddenly a wolf approached the fire. Then suddenly got scared and stepped back. Seeing that, Tanthian spoke up and said. Deeplum lit a torch because wild animals were afraid of fire. The wolves did not dare to approach casually. On the one hand, they were afraid of Ham and on the other hand, they were afraid of the fire. After thinking about it, the two of them held torches in their hands. Then Tanthian took a stance and threw the torch at the wolves. The wolves saw a strange object. Both bright and hot. When he flew to my place, he was a bit nervous. But lean back, seize the opportunity. Tanthian immediately ordered Ham Bai. Come forward and dry your blood with them. Is in a hot mood. My bear roared loudly at the wolves in front of me with 3 legs and 4 legs. But the calf ran away. Saw the wolves had left. The two of them dared to sit down and breathe the fresh air. After that, Tanthian's group quickly packed up their things. But left at night, to avoid wolves. Came back to ask about health. After a while, traveling through the forest through the night. Then finally, everyone came out of the forest. Saw the sandbird in a hurry. Deeplum couldn't help but be curious and asked where his nest was nearby. Maybe he can't wait to go back and see how his child is doing. After speaking, the two of them turned away. Continued to move towards the flying sandbird. After a while of climbing, Deeplum saw, my body is also starting to feel bad. This mountain is really steep. If you can't even breathe, why climb? See Deeplum about to burn all the calories in his body. Tanthian had to speak up. She and I stay here to rest. And I will continue to climb up. Up high, the same mountain, has turned from steep to vertical. Tanthian is trying his best to climb up. Above, Suddenly the rock ledge where his hand was holding broke. Fortunately there was a superior to support him and he was able to react in time. If not a little slower. I got to try the feeling of throwing myself down from the mountain. What is it like? After a while of crawling and crawling, Tantheon finally climbed up, reached the top of the mountain. Looking down from above, Tantheon only saw the vastness of this deserted island, but stood for a while and then kicked horizontally and vertically. When his eyes met a volcano. At the foot of the volcano there were trees growing. Definitely a volcano, been bitten for many years and never had an outbreak. Then in a short time. No need to worry either. Rich volcanic terrain mineral resources. There's a chance I'll go there myself. Check it out. Thing. Haven't waited for Tantheon to finish thinking about the miracles on this deserted island. Then the sandbird spoke up to wake up its owner. Well, I thought about it and they turned back. The main mission is to rescue the baby bird. The baby bird's location is extremely steep. Unless you have professional tools. Otherwise, Tantheon wouldn't have been able to climb down. Save baby birds. But even if you have professional tools, Tantheon did not take the risk and climbed down. Because he had a better solution. Having a beast slave seal. Tantheon can simply communicate with the sandbird. He said to the sandbird. Said the baby bird bit the rope. Then you can pull up the baby bird from the gap. After catching it at the right time, Tantheon finally pulled the baby bird up. Look at the size of this bird. Also made Tantheon surprised, as expected of being the king of fierce birds. Even baby birds are that big. Well, the mission of rescuing baby birds has been completed. Tantheon picked up the baby bird and climbed down. After a while of struggling and crawling. Then, Tantheon also landed safely. The situation seems not good. Tantheon had to suppress his fatigue. Then turned to Deeplum. Temporarily stopped to think about countermeasures. Then let's go. After speaking, Tantheon picked up a tree branch. Then draw a map on the ground. Simple location. This stone is our location. The cross is the location where the plane crashed. And O is our camp. Food is now enough to sustain us back at camp. There is still plenty, but if we take a detour to where the plane crashed, consider then, remaining food, enough to last until returning to barracks. Not sure if. Deeplum heard Tantheon say so and gave his opinion. Everyone went back to the barracks first. Then calculate again later. But that's not certain. Maybe two people can't, but what if it's like this? Deeplum watched him scribble. Also understood what Tantheon meant. We will go a long way together. Then he went alone to the place where the plane crashed. Tantheon sees that Deeplum not only has beautiful souls, which has a very fast information I kill it. Then he nodded like a child in a hurry and then spoke up. That's right, if I was the only one going. Then the remaining food will definitely be enough. But half the way is left. You can return to the barracks alone. Don't see. Tantheon is afraid that he is blind. Like some guy with blue hair and 3 swords. Making Little Lamb angry and thinking. Don't challenge the rich to drink soy sauce. Then the group of them moved together until dark. Then they stopped together to rest under a tree. Look at that adorable baby bird. Deeplum asked. Tantheon once said he would raise this baby bird. Right, it's not just about raising it. She had to do something to make him understand. It's only her command. Well, there's no need to consider that right now. Now let's see what we should call that baby. Listening to Deeplum's words hit the right spot. Tantheon lay with his hands next to him. Immediately spoke quickly. But the itch is right where the scratch is. Can anyone call me a little sandbird? Deeplum heard the underground name of Tantheon. Then got angry. But said there is a flamboyant sardine bird. This little guy's head is called Tew Bark. Tew Bark. Can't use those strange names. Tantheon heard her say that her name was strange. Then he was so sad that he muttered to himself. Ham by Sa bird's name sounds so classy. She is a girl, so don't understand my Gucci fashion. The next morning, Deeplum took out a white lump from the bamboo tube. Show it to Tantheon. This is turpentine oil. Where did you get it from? I took it from the pine tree from the mountain yesterday. Then hurriedly went on his way. I don't have time to talk to you either. This can probably be used to make a torch. Right. Tantheon was happy after hearing what she said. Took the bamboo pipe and left. After setting off alone. Tantheon is every hour. Used talent wants to run north. Only at noon did I slow down my steps. Move for a while. Tantheon stopped and thought. even though the weather changed yesterday. But in the end it still didn't rain. So why is the soil here wet? It's not normal to be so wet. Thought. Tantheon ordered the blackbird to fly forward. Explore the path. Thanks to the slave, the beast seal can synchronize the perspective of the sandbird. So there is no fear of anything happening. Bizarre. Can't see clearly. There is a lot of water ahead. Perhaps there is a lake or a river ahead. Well, just let yourself go see it. Go ahead a little. In front of Tantheon is a lagoon in the forest. The situation seems not very positive. Tantheon decided to change direction and take a detour. Although that's a bit far. But the safety factor will still be the highest. No matter which direction Tantheon goes around. Still encountered the swamp. After walking around in the forest for a while, Tantheon also started to see a decrease in calories. Faster than usual. Moreover, there are many mosquitoes in the swamp. Unimaginable. After being stung by it, scratching it can cause infection. So before it gets dark, must leave this swamp. It is absolutely impossible to stay here overnight. The water in the lake, because it has not moved for a long time, should produce a large amount of bacteria. If your feet are soaked in water for a long time, it is very easy for bacteria to infect places. Can't get around it. Tantheon had to temporarily wade through the water. After a while of struggling, the bones finally dissolved, but in return the temperature is getting hotter and hotter. Yesterday, dark clouds filled the sky. As a result, not even a drop of rain was seen. It's really strange. Tantheon is constantly drinking water to regain his strength. Then suddenly I saw vines in front of me. It's a bit strange. A green bean is not a vine. But it's a green snake in disguise. What do you think? Tantheon was promoted to the level of flying clouds and returning to the wind. Then tell the king of hell how I submitted my story. But I was quick to say it without being sassy. Quickly rushed to rescue his owner. The system will now appear and explain. Best wishes. Is a type of tube snake belonging to the bamboo leaf snake genus. The head is big and the neck is thin and the whole body is blue. It often hangs or wraps around tree branches. And eat animals. Like a lizard frog. Birds and small mammals. Offensive and toxic. Tantheon listened to the system announcement. Then all the ass sweat. But secretly thought that this viper was no different from a vine. Completely indistinguishable. Well, I should still hurry. Let's quickly get out of this swamp. After a long trip across the lake, Tantheon finally reached the shore. And continued to use his talent. If the latter path can all ensure the current road condition, then before the sun goes down the mountain, I'm sure I can get to the crash site. But I'm passionately flying and jumping on the road. Suddenly Tantheon's foot stepped on the swamp. In just a moment his body sank. Lost almost half. But no matter what, halfway through, you have to be very calm. Muddy swamp. The same property as sand lines in the desert. Once you fall into it, the more you struggle, the faster you fall. Unless I'm sure I can escape. If not, absolutely don't struggle wildly. Think. Then Tantheon leaned back, to limit the body's sinking speed. To the greatest extent. Then he spoke up, ordered the sandbird to find some tree branches for him. As long as possible. Current speed. Tantheon has about 2 hours left. Only then will the body sink completely. So definitely, I still have a chance to return to reunite with everyone. After a while of flying around looking for the last thing, the same sandbird also brought back 2 or 3 tree branches for Tantheon. Then he took the rope. Tie some tree branches into a stand. Because swamps are dilute rheology. Fine Newtonian fluid division. This type of fluid is soft, not hard. So just need to add enough pressure onto the swamp a certain area. Then the swamp will become as hard as the ground. In the blink of an eye. After a sound of flexing his ass muscles and inhaling his butt muscles to crawl up, Tantheon finally escaped the swamp. This muddy swamp I really couldn't see. Different from the outside. Before there was no countermeasure. Then absolutely don't move forward. Tantheon suddenly remembered the movie, The Great Lie. But I hide from my parents and don't sleep. Then plow day and night. In the movie, there is a scene where Dwang walks through a swamp. Thinking about it, he removed the wooden stick. Choose the 8 roughest bars in there. Use a knife to cut it flat. Then put 4 plants into a bunch and divide it under your feet. So Tantheon could stand on the swamp surface. Without fear of sinking. This method will be like a ski bar. Increase the bearing area. Disperse your own weight. Cause yourself to fail. Fast on the swamp surface. Slide for a while. In front of Tanthian is the location where the plane crashed. Scene changes to where the plane crashed. On the plane is a foreign girl. After a while of horizontal and vertical tilting. See where you are. Then she finally remembered that during the flight she encountered a rainstorm. The plane is lost. After controlling it, he was caught up in the chaos. Fortunately, before the plane crashed, I tried to raise the plane a little higher. All the machinery was broken. I'm very lucky that I wasn't injured, after knowing that he had landed safely. But the plane was completely damaged. The blonde girl immediately asked for help, but she was complaining that her throat was sore. And then no one answered. Often appear. Think that's right. In this remote, desolate place, how can anyone? The sun is about to go down the mountain. It's better to stay in the plane tonight to be safe. But I didn't have time to wait for her to get on the plane. Then there was a noise from behind, causing the blonde girl to suddenly turn around. Then asked someone. Scene changed to this side. Tanthian is finally out. Out of the swamp he kept calling out. See if anyone is here or not. It's been so long since the plane crashed. Injured pilot. The situation now is definitely dangerous. So you definitely have to find points quickly. The plane crashed. Tanthian suddenly received a notice from the sandbird. Big white bird recently. Heard the announcement. One person and one bird quickly ran forward. As expected. Is there anyone here? There's no one here. After a few calls, no one responded. Tanthian ran towards the plane to check. There was no blood in the cockpit. The astronaut must have just left temporarily. But even though this plane looks new, but the variety feels ancient. There also seems to be no radio power. Communicate with the outside. There's something that can't wait. Tanthian finished thinking. Then, from behind there was the sound of someone moving. Made him suddenly turn back. Then only saw a blonde girl. I'm holding my ass on 3 legs and 4 legs. But ran in his direction. The blonde girl saw someone ahead. Then he was scared and told him to run away. There is a crocodile in the background. The system also displays a notification that this is a swamp crocodile. A type of crocodile belonging to the cloudbear that goes stealthily. When mature, it is 4 to 5 meters long and weighs up to 1 ton. It usually crawls on its belly but can also walk on its feet. Large individuals can reach speeds of 16 km per hour. Swim underwater by moving its body and tail. Speed can reach 32 km 1 hour. But it cannot be maintained long term. Out in the swamp. Swamp crocodiles also live in rivers, ponds and other wet areas. And likes to move in shallow water less than 5 meters deep. Seeing that the situation does not look good, Tanthian quickly jumped into the plane. Then reached out his hand to pull her up with her. But the movement of getting on the plane was a bit rushed, making the blonde girl unable to hold on fast enough. I had to use my 2 malignant tumors. Then press on Tanthian to regain my balance. The latter standing below. See the distance between the profile picture and the 5 whipped grapefruit. Still some distance away. Then he quickly used his tail to whip the plane's fuselage. An helps great avatars and souls. Brought closer together. Tanthian after that collision. Make it really enjoyable for yourself. But I can't help but care about what's in front of me. 2 of them now. Was now completely surrounded by crocodiles. Look at the situation at hand. Tanthian couldn't help but think worriedly. Why are these crocodiles so aggressive? Directly hit the plane. It won't be good if it continues like this. Thinking then Tanthian quickly drew his bow, which shoots at an alligator ahead. There is one thing. As soon as the stone arrow hit its target, it was thrown out. The crocodile saw him shooting at him like a mosquito biting stainless steel. Immediately expressed that she wanted to ask him to shoot more for her. Some itchy spots on his body. Tanthian saw this crocodile with such thick skin and fat meat. Had to change the target to their eyes. The thing is with triple Z shooting skills. But have to draw a black dot in the middle of your screen. At what age do you want to hit it? Crocodile's eyes. It's truly as dark as a dog's scrotum. But it's not like it doesn't cause a wound. On the contrary, it makes them even more vicious. Just keep beating like that. No more than 15 minutes. This plane will be destroyed. Thinking then Tanthian had to surrender his life. For rescue system. During this time he did not buy anything. Should. The points in the system have also accumulated 12. 700 points. Even though it's enough to change talents, I still do not use. Because every talent is an insurance card. Just wait until the danger is real. Just know which one is most effective. With the immediate situation regarding arrow shooting. Blessed centaur to be exact. Then suddenly the blonde girl picked up the alcohol and turned on the lighter. Then told Tantheon to use this to burn the crocodile. Tantheon was afraid she wouldn't use it properly. Lead to danger. Then I had to give a warning. Only with the possibility of 5 years of elementary school. And after 4 years of high school. He could barely speak a sentence. How are you 5? Thank you and chirping also made the blonde girl unable to stop thinking. Which village did you live in? Come. Then just say one sentence to give me fire for him. Concise and concise. Sure enough she understood and threw the lighter to me. The goods have also arrived. Tantheon began to summon the system and then changed his talent points into blessing centaurs. After a while of syncing skills, the system also appeared, announcing that the host's reception of the talent is complete. Tantheon heard that he has completed the reception. It's also a bit surprising. So it's done. Last time I received the gift of Agile Blue Leopard. I can also feel it clearly. Body changes occur, but now I don't feel anything at all. Maybe the system is lying to me. But I haven't had time to wait for him to finish thinking about it. The crocodiles attacked more and more fiercely. Saving people is not as good as saving yourself. Tantheon then applied turpentine to the tip of the arrow. Then use a lighter to burn it into a fiery arrow. Even though that arrow is not powerful enough. But adding the fire is different. The fire is already as bright as the street lights. Tantheon brought the bow forward. Then use your talent to aim and shoot. At this moment, a shooting center appeared before his eyes. Wind direction coordinates. Things. Causing Tantheon to be surprised and think. Is this perhaps the effect of Sagittarius band complex? It's really like in a shooting game. After aiming and shooting properly. Ruler next to it. Represents the force currently being used. And the force to be achieved. Bar. Wind speed represents the required angle of stability. If all conditions are satisfied. So you can easily hit the target. Each arrow fired by Tantheon. All have the same goal. Without even having to squeeze a glass. The blonde girl saw the millennium. Such good marksmanship. Then stand next to him and keep giving him fire and names. The 5th and then the 6th. The 6th child then the 7th. But before I could wait for the Sunday bird to appear, the crocodiles were hit. Tantheon's name is all charred. Oh Sot, he is truly the 2-egg hero of my heart. Look at the blonde baby so happy. Tantheon had to suppress his fatigue. But turned around and introduced himself. Then asked to print her personal information. Hearing the hero's words, her sister immediately responded, "My name is Jessica. Is there anyone else besides us?" However, Tantheon's English is limited, so I couldn't understand everything my sister said. Jessica saw the hero with 2 eggs come back. Don't fully understand what I said. Then quickly asked questions. See if he understands any other languages. Like Japanese or Korean, maybe Chinese. Like the Chinese people I met. They all have very long braids. But, so do you have a cell phone? Jessica heard Tantheon ask for her cell phone. I also suspected it myself. Maybe it's the phone. However, there is no phone line here either. What's the use of carrying a phone? The two of them after a while. Pour some English and me. But I don't understand anything. It's already dark, so we both sat down to rest and eat. No, the hero. The 2 eggs on the lower teeth have nothing to eat. So Jessica gave him a box of ready-made food. But needing her to open the box is very rare. Looking at this food box, it seems very nutritious. But I'm confused about the month on this food box. Jessica saw him looking at the box without eating. I turned to ask him if he was having any problems. However, Tantheon's English is a bit limited. So I can't ask her. Is this box of food still edible? Tantheon looks at her eating delicious food like that. I also clicked my tongue and tried a bite. At first I thought it wasn't delicious, but who knew it was unbelievably delicious. The taste inside is still very normal. Maybe the date is printed on the box. It's not the production date. The food is still eaten. 2 of them, after a tiring day, decided to sleep in the plane for 1 night. To regain strength. After a sleep it was already morning. Tantheon woke up, and Jessica was on the stove cooking. In her hand was a backpack. Take out a lot of stuff. Using it is no different from a robot cat's magic bag. Well, if you have my heart, you should have some fish sauce. Tantheon thought, then took out a piece of pork. I don't know where. Then give it to her to cook. Pork soup after drinking the meat soup. Tantheon and Jessica have completely recovered. Although Jessica has many things to ask. But Tantheon could only understand a few simple words. I don't really understand what she's expressing. On the contrary, Tantheon drew a map, talking and drawing at the same time, about their barracks and this deserted island. For Jessica, Tantheon thought, Diplom can definitely talk to Jessica. So he invited Jessica to the barracks. Jessica feels that many new people are safe. Immediately happily agreed. The two of them were about to pack their bags and leave. When suddenly, Jessica spotted a golden eagle, flying overhead, saw it rushing towards Tantheon. Make her scared and scream loudly to let Tantheon know. But only 2 seconds later, Jessica couldn't help but be surprised. Because of this golden eagle, is the pet of the hero 2 eggs. The two of them moved forward, when suddenly the fog in the swamp appeared. So dense, even the ostriches, unable to see clearly the situation ahead. Jessica suddenly felt that her body was not okay. Had to speak up and tell Tantheon to stop. Rest for a moment. The two of them sat down to rest and drink water. Suddenly Jessica fell unconscious. Tantheon still didn't understand what was going on. He himself started to have a headache. Dizziness but no nausea. Could it be caused by this white mist? Thought. Tantheon crawled towards Jessica to see if she was okay. But no. Look at the situation like this. Even if you don't ask, you'll know it's not okay. Tantheon tries to mobilize both hemispheres of the brain. To think. Then suddenly he felt that even though Jessica was not awake yet, it seems like her condition is lighter than before. My hands are no longer helpless. Take a break. Tantheon temporarily borrowed Jessica's lighter to experiment. Lucky to have a talented Sagittarius, so he can accurately compress the rock in the distance. The lighter just collided with the rock, then created a huge explosion. From here Tantheon also knew the reason why Jessica and I are so close. It's because of the methane in this fog. But compared to air, methane is a bit lighter. So me and Jessica lay down. Then the condition won't get worse. But continuing like that is not the way. Must be saved quickly. Jessica woke up and immediately left here, thinking Tantheon had to rummage through his bag to find support tools. The bag includes metal eating utensils. Convenient tent sleeping bags of all types are available. But now just him struggling because he can't understand the above English. What does medicine mean? But wait, this box is an electric battery. Thinking about it, Tantheon started making tools to help Jessica wake up. First, you need to use a bamboo tube to store most of the clean water. Red needle to stop bleeding. Then take out all the pencil cores and metal bodies. The pencil core is connected to the positive pole of the battery. The outside is like a needle floating into the hemostatic bandage. Metal spoon connected to the negative terminal. This will form a main circuit in the water. Put the pen core and metal spoon into the bamboo tube. Turn on the power source. Electric tank. After the water has electricity, an oxidation reaction will occur. The anode produces oxygen. The cathode produces twice as much hydrogen as oxygen. This phenomenon is the electrolyte of water. Is also a method of preparation. Current oxygen. After a while of waiting, Tantheon also saw the water in the bamboo tube bubbling, proving that the water electrolysis was successful. Finally, he used a bandage to stop the bleeding. Passed electrolyte oxygen to Jessica. After a while of sniffing and sniffing, she woke up, seeing herself suddenly faint. Jessica quickly turned to Tantheon and asked, "Something happened. All around here is methane gas." Jessica heard him say that, also understood the situation, and quickly told Tantheon to leave. An oxygen tube can only be used by 2 people. When Jessica woke up, there is not much electricity left in the battery, so we have to cross the swamp in one breath. Before the battery ran out of power, after a while of trying my best to get it back alive. Plus the protection of the superior. Then in the end there are 2 people. They also successfully escaped from the fog. The air outside is also fresh again. 2 people, Tantheon and Jessica. After escaping the swamp, the color of the sky was no longer early. 2 people have not yet fully recovered. Detoxification in the swamp. Decided to find a suitable location in the forest. To rest early. Then tomorrow return to the barracks. At the same time on the side of the barracks. Deeplum is burning to level 7. Because 2 weasels stole my fish. Even so, one of them still came back screaming. If you can catch me. You're really fucking a horse. 2 barks fish was stolen and 2 fish were stolen. I have to quickly make a new lid tonight. Now, little white kid also went to Deeplum to ask for food. Look at him being so hungry for food. Deeplum happily took out the fish from the jar. Then gave it to little white to eat. But it's been 3 days. Why hasn't Taming come back yet? Nothing will happen. Or tomorrow. Hambai and I will go look for him together. But Deeplum hasn't finished thinking yet. The little white man cried out happily. When you see a sandbird flying back. If the SA bird is here. Taming has already filmed it. From the forest. Taming walked out and called out to her. But before Deeplum could wait. He was happy that Taming had returned. Then a woman appeared next to him. Said hello. Saw that Deeplum still couldn't load the IC. Taming immediately took the opportunity to say a few sarcastic words. Deeplum, I'm back and haven't seen you for 3 days. Do you miss me? Look at her shyly blushing like that. Taming didn't wait any longer and returned to business. This is the pilot of that plane. Jessica. It was very clear that Jessica was a foreigner. With my level 4 English level. It's really difficult to communicate. So I don't know either. Is she a rescue team or not? So it's about communicating with her. I have to give it back to you. Deeplum listen. Taming finished explaining. Then happily turned to say hello. Introducing Jessica. Hear her introduce her name. Jessica also spoke up to introduce herself. Hello, on my full name is Zerek Hathaway. It's okay if you call me Jessica. But wait for about 2 seconds. Jessica, you know how to speak Chinese. So why didn't you say it sooner? Jessica looked at the bewildered hero too. Ask me. So I stuck my tongue out to tease him and said. You didn't ask me either. Before that, he always spoke English to me. I don't even know what country you are from. Taming after listening to her. I also fell into a state of depression. But the thinking is really nonsense. The whole road is constantly laborious. It takes effort to speak English. What are you doing with your voice? Night has already begun to fall. After knowing that Jessica can speak Chinese. That night, Taming and Deeplum talked with Jessica for a long time. Taming told the story of them wandering on a deserted island. Along with the stories after arriving on the island. At the same time, Taming also understood from Jessica. She is a paleontology scholar. Specializes in ancient research. Creatures from all over the world. Comes from this cause. She often travels around the globe. Just learned so many languages. For convenient communication. Not long ago, Jessica heard that there is an animal that walks on its butt. In the South Pacific Hawaii archipelago. She was agitated. Immediately flew a plane to the field to survey. But unexpectedly encountered a storm. The plane lost control and crashed on this island. Listen here, you two. Taming and Deeplum. Just found out she's not part of the rescue team. But at least, we can also pass Jessica's airline, combined with the location of the yacht, to speculate on the approximate location of this royal island. Deeplum couldn't help but wonder. Why did Jessica wander to this deserted island? No fear at all. On the contrary, I saw that she was very happy. Hearing Deeplum ask like that. Jessica also couldn't hide her excitement. But spoke up to explain. Primitive panda was originally considered doomed. Now still exists in this world. This is how excited people are. On this island. Perhaps there are other special creatures that exist. Just thinking about it is like going to heaven. Deeplum looked at Jessica with such bright eyes. I also know she hates herself. Can't spare the fat to go out and do some research. Causing the bear lying next to him to stop sweating. Ass but scared. The 3 of them, after a while of confiding. Pink age. Then found out that Jessica came from 1927. Jessica doesn't look like she's lying. Furthermore, her plane is very similar. Aircraft of the 20th century. There's also the print on the box that hasn't expired yet. 1:927 to 1:928. So is it really like that? Thinking, Sir Taming turned to ask her. What year is AD this year? I'm sure as hell. This year is definitely AD 1927. Said. Then Jessica asked Taming back. How much credit do you have this year? AD 2020. Oh shit, 2020. Maybe you and Deeplum all come back from the future. Tanthian looked at her in surprise. Then quickly spoke up. I don't think so. I miss Jessica every type. Before the plane crashed, it encountered a storm. Can you tell me in detail the situation at that time? I was flying from Los Angeles at that time, along the air route to Hiri Island. Then encountered a storm. It was clear that a second ago it was still hot. Seconds later, he was caught in a vortex. Left me completely unprepared, more so when storms appear. The measuring equipment is also broken. Wait for me to react. The plane aimed towards the deserted island and crashed. Deeplum heard her say that. It feels exactly the same. When Tanthian and I met, before coming here, heard the two of them finish talking. Tanthian also began to reason logically. The girls said, is that formation something like a time corridor? No, like the three Bermuda ghosts. We are all caught up in it. Related to space-time corridor speculation. As for the good mortals, nothing less than a serious subject. If the speculation is true. So what year are they in? Where is this deserted island located? How should they return? And what substance must be used to return? If it's not true, then primordial panda python tit anaba bar. People come from different eras. Then what to do? To explain. Tanthian see. Everyone ponders like this. Then don't speak up. Tell everyone about the important situation at hand. So think about ways to prevent wild animals. Then improve the quality of your life. Is the most important thing. Going into battle, talking about the two words, wild beast. Making Jessica unable to help but say curiously. Sometimes Hambai is taken to a deserted island by a storm. Hey no. In theory, it's not impossible. Moreover, if you say so, the python is a nova. The bamboo forest was probably swept here by a storm. Really what you just said is python headline a nova. That's right. It resides deep in the bamboo forest on a deserted island. May does not dare to come close. Jessica finished listening to Tanthian. Also see something wrong. Wrong not right. With awareness of headline Anoba. In the current world of paleontology, such large endothermic animals survive in temperatures at least 30 degrees Celsius. To 34 degrees Celsius should not appear. The shade in the forest is just beyond this point. Tit and Nova lives in the tropics of the ancient and modern times. As proven by research, the tropics of that era were an environment. It's like a sauna. Based on the theory of evolution, we can speculate, therefore, to cope with hot and humid environments. The skin is definitely of the moist skin type. If in a dry environment, it will definitely crack and bleed. Maybe it's because the environment has changed, causing Tit Anopa to evolve stars. Or say, previous research results on Tit Anopa were erroneous. It really makes people curious what Jessica said. Deeplum immediately commented, what if it rains? Does Titch and Duba operate in the bamboo forest? It's summer now. Daytime temperatures can reach more than 30 degrees. Combined with every time it rains. Every time there is a riot of wild animals. Jessica. The two of them talked to each other. I didn't understand anything, so I asked. So I think I haven't loaded the IC yet. Tanthian had to speak up to explain. Actually we had 2 rains before. Turned out to be like that. If the temperature is high enough, the rain will be abundant. Anaba can operate in bamboo forests. The operating ranges are not very large. Maybe limited to bamboo forests. So rainy night. The violence of the wild beasts is completely understandable. But normally where would Tit Anopa be? Perhaps in a cave. But if it is a cave, if the required temperature cannot be reached, that's right. Stop. Then leave it anywhere. Least risk of Tit Anopa is also considered dismissed. As long as we don't recharge ourselves. That's fine. Now it's too late. 2 people hurriedly returned from outside. Tonight Deeplum let the 2 of them sleep in bed. I'll go out and keep watch at night. Hearing Deeplum's words, Jessica was a bit troubled. Then turned to ask, are the 2 of them in a relationship? That's it. Don't think wrongly. From baby to adult, I haven't held my son's hand yet. So what love is there? So are you 2 planning to develop a relationship? Deeplum finished listening to the countryside. His face was as red as a tomato. Then frantically spoke up. Why did you suddenly ask this question? I see the 2 of them haven't reached this point yet. Jessica immediately took the opportunity to speak up. Otherwise it's not a problem. Tonight Tanthian and I will sleep in one bed. Deeplum sleeps in such a bed. 2 beds are enough. Oh hey, you two are sleeping together. That's right. Of course Tantheon needs to agree. Protective posture on the plane that day in the swamp. Not even half a step away from me. Along with intelligence when manufacturing ventilators. It all makes me crazy. I found out. I already like this two-egg hero. Tantheon, can you be my boyfriend? Tantheon finished listening to Jessica. I really like it myself. Jessica's two malignant tumors look so reasonable. But is not waiting for Tantheon to nod like a child. Deeplem's murderous aura behind him made him cold. Spine-chilling. That's true. Even if the old man is good. He nods like a busy child. Let me see. No. Sport teasing his wife. Is the most dangerous idiot in this world. Sir Tantheon had to sadly click his tongue and refuse. I see Tantheon is still addicted. Plus a little regret. Jessica also spoke up and gave him a chance. Later. Slowly cultivate. It's really fun to be a two-egg hero. Well, it's not early anymore. Tantheon has to hold his scrotum on 3 legs and 4 legs. Run to get a sleeping bag from your backpack and sleep temporarily. Faculty also pulled all Deeplem. I went to bed before. Deeplem saw Tantheon today and also knew. Instantly it's fun. But let his nightingale continue to sing. But, damn Jessica, why did you take off all your clothes? Looked at Deeplem in such surprise. Jessica happily answered. Because it's dirty. Moreover, sleeping like this makes Americans feel comfortable. It's really comfortable. But something is wrong. Hey old man, why did you just zip up your head? Now I still have my profile picture out. What is that? Scene changed to the next morning. Myself after a night of lying on the ground. Tantheon, I also feel like I have neck and shoulder pain. Already. But I haven't had time to wait for him to stretch. Then the angel with 2 grapefruits and 5 whips greeted him. But before Tantheon could wait for Jessica to wash his eyes. From behind Deeplem greeted him. Also good morning. But it's so chilling, everyone. I see Tantheon has such a fate. Deeplem held his bowl of meat soup. Poured into Jessica's portion. Let me make it easy for you. Become skin and bones more easily. I dumped all of my brother's meat into Jessica's bowl. Please take the time to drink the broth. Tantheon looked at his bowl of soup, which was even lighter than snail juice. Then quickly took the bowl. Then 3 legs and 4 legs. Carrying the scrotum and running out. Seeing Deeplem was not so happy. Jessica immediately spoke up to ask about Tantheon. Makes her unhappy. Where is it? Not in the kitchen. There are many more. I was just joking with him. Oh, I know you also like Tantheon. Right? Deeplem heard Jessica say she also liked Tantheon. Then shyly stammered out a denial. Your country. It seems like a husband can have many wives. Right? It seems like it's divided into a large room with 2 rooms like that. When I was young, I went to China. I heard it from an old man. Let's try together. She knew Tantheon first. I can let you be the eldest lady. Deeplem finished listening to Jessica. His face turned red like a monkey's ass. Then quickly made an excuse to run out. This side Tantheon went to the kitchen to get food. Saw Deeplem sitting huddled in here. Deeplem, what's wrong with you? Saw Tantheon coming. Deeplem is quick to speak. Be quick to seize the opportunity and speak. I want to be a grandmother. Making Tantheon's mind question. No, nothing. He heard wrong. Did Jessica say something to you again? Ms. Jessica is really difficult to deal with. Finished resting last night. The 3 Tantheon people gathered together again. Officially begin planning. Later after discussion, the 3 people divided the plan into 2 phases. First stage. Completely stand firm on this deserted island. And explore this entire island once. Tantheon has 2 natural talents in front of him. Plus ham and sarsaparilla. I'm not afraid of wild boars anymore. But Tantheon still decided to cut down the tree. Make a sharp fence surrounding the entire grassland. To prevent unwanted incidents. Tantheon also plans to catch wild boars to keep in captivity. To ensure stable food. We must know that in a few months it will be winter. After winter, the situation will be very unpredictable. The attempt to explore a deserted island once. Of course it's to find resources. To be precise, mineral resources such as iron ore. Copper or iron ore is very important. It involves iron nails are available during the shipbuilding process. Or not, of course. Carpentry structures and carpentry holes can also be used instead. But this way, it will take more time to build the above ship. Second stage, shipbuilding. Of course, this is also the ultimate goal. But before my eyes, the three Tanthians still didn't have too much thought about it. However, the early stages are still uncertain. No matter what you think, you can't do it. But one thing is certain. That is, this phase definitely takes time. Several years. Talking about this, Jessica suddenly remembered. There's still a lot of stuff in the bag. Everyone take a look to see if there's anything usable. Said, and then she pulled out a new set of clothes to give it to Deeplum to try on. Tanthian looked at two angels with 4 malignant tumors, laughing happily with new clothes. Then look at yourself on your lower teeth. The shirt I'm wearing, I'm about to evolve into a mop. Let's put aside the sadness for now. Poor pieces of discomfort bring. Jessica also brought along many sharp iron tools. Have these tools already. Going to the bamboo forest tomorrow will be much easier. Transition to the next morning. Tanthian and Hambai are in the bamboo forest. Harvest. Seeing the baby so eager to eat, Tanthian had to go over and tell him. The baby came back and ate later. While above the sardine was flying. Reconnaissance of the forest situation. No sign of headline Annaba. As expected, Jessica's guess was not wrong. If so, go to the pile. No more threats. Thought then one person, one bear, dragon and snake walked forward together. Super giant frozen stool. The other day it was still as hard to smell as before. I really can't believe it. Before that, I jumped in here again. Like places where piles of dung have been left for a long time make sense. There may be. Thinking, Tanthian took a tree branch and poked it into the ground. Then use a lighter to try to burn it. Sure enough, this purple soil is called pepper soil. And it often exists in manure piles. Old floor wall base. Cave cliffs and ground. Not washed away by rainwater. Nitrate standard soil. Potassium is formed by bacterial activity. Nitric acid and nitrous acid bacteria. After organic matter in the soil is decomposed. However, most of them have been combined with potassium ions. Sodium and sodium in the soil and exist in the form of salts. Just potassium nitrate is extracted from pepper soil. Can be mixed into black explosive. That way we will have more defense methods. The wild boar is about to return from looking for food. Find some more bamboo shoots for the ham and then go back. After a while of traveling, Tanthian finally returned. When I arrived, I saw Tanthian had returned. Deeplum immediately happily asked him. Jessica stood next to her. Don't forget to show off your achievements. And Deeplum told me. It looked exactly like what I predicted. In the bamboo forest there is quite a bit of soil. That's right, the harvest is very good. Next, please give it to me, said Tanthian. Deeplum took Jessica to look around. And I'll start working on transitions. Until noon the next day. The bathtub is finally finished being fired. Next they split together. Purification of potassium nitrate. Potassium nitrate purification is divided into 3 steps. First step is to mix the herb mixture with pepper soil. In the ratio 1:8. Potassium ions present in herbs replace sodium ions. In soil, potassium nitrate is produced. The second step is to use bamboo poles. Bamboo edges cover the target soil. Pour hot water to dissolve the potassium nitrate. And separate kanamazi salt. Does not melt. But because the soil is completely moist, I just had to spend a long time using the bowl. Pour hot water little by little. After a tiring day of work. Tanthian people. Also done. Just come here today. Waiting for tomorrow to volunteer for Kalinitraz. That we can make black explosives. Deeplum heard Tanthian say black explosives. Can't help but be surprised. But turned to ask him again. So it's not possible. It's true that it's a bomb. At night even though everyone half believes it. Half expected about the space-time tunnel. But Jessica seems to have considered Tanthian and Deeplum are travelers from the future. Then curiously asked about many things. After a night of confiding and resting, I regained my strength. Then it will move to the next day. Liquid concentrate obtained by pouring and rinsing. Contains a lot of dirt. Before boiling the nitrate water, Tanthian 3 people filtered with cloth and then put it in a jar. Nitrate cooking process. Similar to the process of creating salt from seawater. The only difference is when cooking. Nitrate needs to be stirred continuously during nitrification to avoid sticking to the bottom and flying away. When the nitrate evaporates and becomes viscous, precipitated solids begin to appear at the bottom of the tank. This is a mixture of sodium chloride and potassium chloride. Compared to potassium nitrate, they have poorer solubility, and saw early precipitation at this temperature, multiplying the water temperature. If not reduced, filter again. Remove sodium chloride and potassium chloride from nitrate water. When water temperature cools to lukewarm, solubility of potassium nitrate decreased sharply, due to changes in water temperature, and split out a lot of. At this time, perform the final filtering again. Is that you can get potassium nitrate. The process of turning off potassium nitrate does not take much effort. But the process of waiting for the nitrate to cool is extremely time-consuming. It wasn't until the afternoon that 3 people processed all the nitrates. There is residual nitrate water after filtration. The common name is acrid water. No problem. This is the acrid liquid that can be used to make tofu. It's just a pity that we don't have soybeans to make tofu right now. Can only be used to water plants. After many days of effort, Tanthian people also made explosives. But Deeplum and Jessica couldn't help but be curious. Tanthian's familiar video with this job. So, surely this isn't the first time you've done this. Right, Tanthian? I heard 2 angels ask, making him shy and then flustered to answer. This has happened before or something like this. Nan the cesspool explodes. Then everyone don't pay attention to that small thing. Tanthian said, reminiscing about my childhood days. At that time, he and his 2 sons made firecrackers. Then we invited each other to go to the bathroom. Saw someone in the bathroom with constipation. Tanthian immediately enthusiastically threw firecrackers into the window. Help the people inside receive reception. More motivation to solve the problem faster. Then take advantage of going online. Top. Was threatened by a few brats' lack of firecrackers. Dropped my phone in the toilet. Making the gods inside get angry at speed 10. Then 3 legs and 4 legs carry the scrotum and run out. Ran and scolded. What a bunch of brats. Really, don't let us catch you. If not, I'll beat you to a pulp. Deeplum keeps seeing Tanthian standing alone. He smiled and couldn't help but ask curiously, what are you laughing at? It's nothing, I just couldn't help but laugh. Okay, you guys take the hams to the cave. I had to go test explosives. Then Deeplum took everyone with him. Stand inside the cave. To observe. Tanthian stood outside testing the explosives. After the drugs had been lit, Tanthian quickly waved his hand. Compress it far forward. The explosive just hitting the ground immediately made a loud bang, making all the birds in the forest scared. Then they flew away. This time I also appeared, announcing that the host will make a bomb and a reward of 5,000 points. But the power of the bomb seems to be a bit weak. Maybe I put in too little gunpowder. After listening to her, Tanthian thought and spoke. More or less gunpowder, enough will affect the power of bombs. But the most important thing is still the black medicine itself. In short, this type of bamboo bomb cannot kill any large animal. But it was more than enough to drive them away. At night Tanthian and the others make 3 more homemade bombs. To really increase damage, Tanthian doubled the amount of black gunpowder. It's just that Jessica's sulfur is limited, so I could only do 3. A few days later, Tanthian's group began to plan. Build defensive partners at the barracks. Initially they planned to burn bricks to build a wall. The results they discovered, even building a few brick kilns. Then under current conditions, a day can only burn a few scattered bricks. In the end, I just had to give up. Then they specify, choose from wood and bamboo. Build wood to block, and try to do it quickly before the rainy season. At that time, wild boars will riot frequently. Period until mid-June. Its summer has begun to appear. It's only the beginning of summer but it's already so sunny if there's a month left. I'm afraid it's just deadly hot. Thinking then Tanthian stopped to rest. Then entered the house. Took a sip of water to regain his spirits. Deeplum prepares boiling water to cool. To quench my thirst. If I drink ice water, it will be even more refreshing. But wait, how did I forget about it? This time has also been special. Some stories about the land coming back. Prepare no less potassium nitrate. Potassium nitrate, if mixed with water, will absorb a large amount of heat. Ancient people used this method to make ice. Thinking, Tanthian poured water into a terracotta pot. Then put a pot of water in it. Next, Take the potassium nitrate and pour it into the water outside. Then stir well, and luckily the potassium nitrate dissolves in the water. Just a physical change. Can later be separated. Otherwise, I really don't dare waste it. With current conditions, being able to combine this much stone is already the limit. Next, take Tanthian with forest oil and pound it finely. Fruit to get water. Summer wild strawberries are large because they are sweet. Unfortunately, it's a bit far from the cave. If not, Jessica will help you now. A little more manpower. You can't get something as good as this. Already, after filtering, I filtered the water to get crushed ice. The last step is to water the strawberries. So a bowl of wild strawberry shaved ice is completed. Now just let it heat again for a while. 2 people, Deeplum and Jessica, must have arrived soon. The lid just dropped on the table. Then the 2 of them arrived home. Deeplum saw Tanthian, immediately happily showed him my achievements. Tanthian, look what this is. Where did you find the grapes? On the way home, I found Jessica, and baby lamb was so happy. Jessica stood by, didn't forget to tease her a few words. Deeplum kept asking for a surprise. So have fun all the way. Hey, there's no need to talk about this. Sister, look at the 2 of them struggling like that. Tanthian Dia spoke up and said, prepared a reward for them, making Jessica keep asking questions. Because I don't know what the reward will be. Said Tanthian also, don't let these 2 angels with beautiful souls guess too long. Guess what? Just open the lid directly. Pennies, 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 a crushed stone. Deeplum and Jessica saw the super delicious ice-cold bowl on the table, then quickly ran over and grabbed it. Then the constant slit. I've been with you until my brain is numb. Jessica turned to ask, how can you do that? Perhaps this is magic, that Chinese people often say. But wait, beauty. The beauty asked while putting the spoon into the guy's mouth. How can he crow? Well, the angel asked. Tanthian here is also willing to answer. Due to potassium nitrate, kalinitrate is soluble in water. Can absorb most of the heat. Jessica finished listening to him. Also not surprising, no potassium nitrate can be used like that. You really have wisdom. Tanthian finds herself being praised a bit too much. He then shyly beat the drum and turned to ask Deeplum. Deeplum, how do you feel the taste of ice? I feel like I could do more deep water or something. But look at little lamb's hungry face like this. Is completely known. Didn't listen to what Tanthian said. Because stone making is better. Tanthian told Deeplum to mold more ceramic pots. Like Russian dolls. Through ceramic vase and pigskin. Carry out insulation to the greatest extent. Can greatly improve cooling efficiency. Increase the odds of fighting. Another side, Jessica is also not idle. She was pounding grapes during the day to bring them home. Prepare to make wine. The process of making wine is relatively simple. Just wash and crush the grapes. Then mix it with sugar in a ratio of 1/3. Then cover it tightly. There is a proverb that says wine spoils and turns into vinegar. The most important difference between brewing wine and vinegar is the tightness. The 2 jars of semen were not completely sealed. Just because I want to borrow acid made into grape varieties in the air. After processing, the grapes were brought back. Jessica happily ran to Tanthian. Asked what he was doing. I'm making a fan blade called an electric fan. Deeplum sat next to Tanthian and listened. I couldn't help but be surprised and turned to ask. Do you want to make an electric fan? Don't misunderstand. I just said I wanted to be the propeller of an electric fan. Not to mention making an electric fan. The 2 of them finished listening. There are still questions in my head. Why do you make propellers? Of course it's for making a fan. So could it be a hand shaker? Heard Deeplum say that. Tanthian was about to turn to explain. Not automatic or aerodynamic. I plan to use a long bamboo tree as a support shaft. One end has a propeller. One end is attached with a fixed bamboo plate to form a dynamic wing. Moving force. Then through steam. When boiling water, push the propeller into a fan. Out. So this idea is great. Like a steam engine. I feel like there is another condenser tube. Tanthian finished listening to Deeplum. I also think this idea sounds stable. The time has come in the blink of an eye. July is also the hottest time. Before, at that time, Tanthian and the others wasted a lot of effort to make steam furnaces and add to the condenser tube. Like so, the cooking steam can not only drive the fan blades, but also through the condenser tube. Stop cooling and add water. Return in the oven to use not again. This time, they also use wild strawberry juice to make popsicles. Ham skin. Sitting next to see the ice cream has been made. Mi Lian turned to signal Tanthian to ask for a piece. No then just. Only you are urgent. I've let you taste a few plants these past few days. So I'm still craving it. Popsicle plus fan. There are 2 heat-reducing spirits. So the reason is this. The feeling of the whole summer is not so unpleasant anymore. That's right. Where are the little white and sand birds? The temperature of birds is much higher than that of humans. Temperature now. For them, it's very normal. Wait a moment and prepare some cold water and you'll be fine. A while later the weather suddenly turned bad. Deeplum is worried here. Outside, the fence had not yet been completed and there was heavy rain. What should we do if wild boars become violent again? Seeing Deeplum so worried, Tanthian immediately spoke up to reassure him. No need to worry about our current equipment. It's not like the old days anymore. Moreover, I have the blessing of Sagittarius. Saris also joined the camp. There is also murderous intent like a bomb. Something wild boar is no longer a question. The rain outside is getting louder and louder. The wild boars are also from the forest. All rushed out, seeing them coming, Tanthian and everyone together, ready to take fighting position. Then, 2 people, Tanthian and Jessica, climbed on the fence to prepare to attack. I didn't expect the rain to be so heavy this time. Lucky too. The eagle's outer feathers are waterproof. Moreover, the material surface also has essential oils. Just don't soak in water for long periods of time. It will not appear. The condition of the bird's wings being wet and unable to fly. Well, the enemy has arrived. Our barracks have worked so hard to build. Can't let you guys rush in arbitrarily. Said Tanthian, stretched his bow forward. Quickly capture and deliver one. Wild boar saw his comrades fall. No longer able to fight. Then start dividing into 2 rows and then run forward. See that? Tanthian ordered Sarjia and Hambai to take charge. The wild boar on the left received the command from the owner. The 2 pets enthusiastically rushed forward. Destroy the wild boar. Although Hambai and SA Bird were partially blocked. But the number rushed towards Tanthian. Very crowded and powerful. If this continues, they will rush in. But don't wait for Tanthian to leave. Afterwards, Deeplum shouted loudly. Tell everyone to quickly avoid the bombs coming. Tanthian Jessica is careful. After saying that, Deeplum used all his strength. Just throw the bomb really hard forward. I saw a strange object flying from inside to outside. Where do the wild boars go? I was trying to figure out if I could catch it. Then let out a loud bang, scaring the wild boars. So they quickly ran into the forest with all 3 legs and 4 legs holding their scrotum. But that was ridiculous. This barracks is for you to come to as you please. If you want to go, go. I want to go so I can leave a little profit. After saying that, Tanthian quickly disappeared and captured him. Another one is lost in the herd. Hambai and Sandbird. This side also tries its best to spread the word, so as not to lose to its master. Seeing that the situation seems stable, Tanthian spoke up and said, they don't need to chase anymore. Wild boar's maturation cycle is very slow. Unlike domestic pigs, which can grow to 5 or 6 pounds in 2 years. 10 pounds if you kill too many wild boars. Perhaps it will affect the number of wild boar herds, causing the number of wild boar herds to decrease. So you can't catch fish in the pond. Continuous development is a good morality. Got this batch of loot. Within the next 2 years, they won't need to worry about food anymore. But the homemade bomb was considered a place to deposit it. Expect the first time on the field to be effective. Right away, book everyone's confidence to the maximum. After fully preparing food, Tanthian's group hastily worked overtime to reinforce. Build fences. At the last moment, before the rainy season comes. In half a month it rained a few more times. Neither big nor small. 3 Tanthian people, regardless of day or night, finally completed the barrier in time. Around the whole barracks. Before the second heavy rain comes. No need to worry about wild boars raising alarms anymore. Next, the whole desert island also entered. The rainy season never stopped. The next morning he heard the cries of the Sandbird and her. When he saw 2 people about to attack each other, he quickly stopped. The SAQ immediately flew towards him. Some time later, He thought of all kinds of ways to communicate with the girl. Hope I can get some information. But also tougher than Jessica. At that time, Tanthian completely did not understand the other person's language. Finally, I had to give up. He decided to take the young girl back to the barracks. Then think later. Deeplum and Jessica went out to welcome him. Jessica said sarcastically, "This is the girl you mentioned in the letter. So cute. I like this style. But the girl looks like she's still a teenager." Seeing that, the girl immediately raised her hand and patted her swollen biceps. Jessica talked for a while. Then know this girl. Name is Nick Harney. Comes from a tribe of Plaza that is also iron. August 1939. Before World War II broke out. At the southwestern tip of the Arabian Peninsula. Your colony, the entrance to the Red Sea, is also iron now, but at that time iron was not yet a nation. In the country, there are all large and small tribes. Among them is a tribe named Longan Project. Longan Tribe. The project has a total of more than 50 people. Located in the desert, but the example is located near an oasis. In the tribe, there is no need to worry about water. There are also many apple trees growing. This point, the British Army is stationed nearby. Often go to the Lara tribe to pick apples to quench their thirst. Considered regular guests of the tribe. But on an August day in 1939, when the British Army arrived, Lara tribe as usual, discovered that everyone in the tribe had disappeared. Food and drink are not lost. Stay in every house. The soldiers found this strange and reported it to their superiors. The chief officer directly contact the Air Force patrolling this area. Received responses. Never seen any trace of the tribe. The Plaza tribe moves just like us. Through time and space, he ended up on a deserted island. So we can borrow the tribe's strength to build a ship for us. In a year maybe leave this deserted island. Nick said not just more than 50 people. But there was also a group of people who came to this island by boat. A year ago, the Plaza tribe outnumbered the tribe 3 times and attacked. For no reason, the tribe rose up to resist but was quickly defeated. Most of the tribe became prisoners of war. Mostly lucky, hid in a certain corner of the island. He worried about the group of 5 people coming back to report. Then summon people here to kill us. Those people have rich combat experience. Well equipped. There are more people than us. If you find it here, even if it's a bomb, can't resist either. Unite with the Plaza tribe to deal with it. This is also the only way. Through the translator of Jessica, Tanthian understood the word Nick. Initially when their tribe first arrived on this deserted island, they were extremely short of food. To solve the food problem, the patriarch used to organize the ministry. Lost hunting, but encountered a thick white mist. They believe that the white mist is the domain of the god of death. Someone accidentally got lost in the white mist. As a result, they angered the god of death, and was quietly taken away by death. Then their people, curious about the scope of this white mist. Many people go to school along the edge of the white mist. Over the course of a week, the results found that white mist across the entire island. Worth mentioning is, the white mist does not disappear all year round. When the seasons change, will disappear for 2 days. The white mist in the swamp has now reappeared. The group of people who want to cross the white mist and come here can only wait for winter to come. We have about 3 months of safety. Nick hopes Tanthian is a shaman, can help her defeat her enemies. All tribes have shamans as their masters. So it's okay, because both of them benefit, so they agree to deceive the tribe. Once, Nick thanked his father and bowed 9 times to him. Jessica suggested Tanthian and Deeplum learn Arabic. Tanthian seemed bored and did not want to study. Because learning English 10, only reluctantly for a few years. Level 4 exam takes 4 hours. In Arabic, you have to learn how to ride a monkey until a horse. He was surprised. The World Language Encyclopedia display system. This way you can change quickly and avoid having to learn. After the conversation, everyone went their separate ways. Deeplum went cooking. He went to the river bank to bathe. Even though at the end of autumn I want to take a warm bath. But give in to Nick and Jessica. Standard men, right everyone. Jessica saw that Nick had many old scars on his body. Big and small. I don't know what Nick has been through. Deeplum has arranged to invite everyone to eat rice. Now has delicious partridge soup. Because Little White went out to play and found a partridge. The ill-fated partridge Now in the bowl, Tantheon and Jessica praised Deeplam as the #1 chef in the barracks. And Nick's food is delicious. Suddenly missing everyone at home and so sad. Tears suddenly flowed out. Late at night he pitched his tent outside the cave. Then slept because there was only enough room in the cave for 3 people to sleep. Jessica and Deeplam saw that Nick refused to sleep on the bed, but lay down on the ground. Hide in the corner, instinctively holding a stone knife in her hand and feeling heartbroken. Day 2 Jessica taught him and Deeplam Arabic. After a long while, he stood up and stretched. Immediately upon hearing the lesson that day. Now ends Deeplam thought Ra. Build a boat to go meet the Plaza tribe. Choosing a day is not the same as meeting in the afternoon. I'm going to cut down trees. He was cutting down the 4th tree when Nick came running, intending to let her help. Then you don't want it. Because he let the injured girl help. But when she was very tired, he was able to cut down 1 tree a day. One hand, a stone axe, even faster than me cutting an iron axe. Not an ordinary person but with Nick's help. In no more than 3 days they had cut enough wood. Then the furnace opening, steelmaking, manufacturing iron nails to build boats. The next day Tantheon and Nick started smelting iron, while Deeplam and Jessica lead Ham by. Hideout, long searched for resources, along with the heat waves from the iron smelting room. Yellow smoke stings the car. Has stunned birds and animals around. Main component of collected pissite. From volcanoes iron goes sun for. Through the process of melting more than 500 degrees, the elemental sulfur will become sulfur gas. Oxide has a pungent odor and is excreted. And the iron will turn into molten iron. After working for a while, he held the iron in his hand. Joy. Finally, we have entered the Iron Age. I see Tantheon as, hold the rock in your hand. It's free, but it takes forever to get a few pieces of iron. No wonder people don't use pissite ore to refine iron. He and Nick went over to the chair to rest. On the table there was also fruit. And a glass of water. He glanced at Nick and saw that she looked like a lowly girl. Standard. Nick didn't understand why he was looking at me. Because I thought she was beautiful. I took a look. Afternoon. Tantheon and Nick cook. The iron block is poured into the mold. Deeplam had prepared in advance. Once cooled, the mold will release. A basic iron nail completed. All 4 people eating together. Deeplam went around and saw a lot of fruit. This season. But picked it down. I'm afraid that if I don't eat it all, it will be a waste. Suggest you dig a storage cellar for the winter. He found digging the tunnel too much for 3 people. Should consider making canned fruits. Food is always important in survival. Boat building was naturally pushed to the back burner. Making glass containers requires silica stone. The next day the 4 went to the stream to collect silica stones. The silica rock content in the stream is high. Furthermore, it is transparent. Huge is the superior silica stone. Scoop a book. Choose a few minutes to get a few stones. Deeplam holds. Cried a bright yellowish lump. I see this gold in your head. The system displays information. Gold is a pure form of the chemical element. Our yellow is a soft golden yellow. Corrosion-resistant precious metal. At this time, Nick gave him a piece. Several times bigger. Nick pointed everyone to the other side and saw it. There are many. This is an ore vein. Jessica found. A diamond. Damn, this is fake, right? System appears. Diamond is a type of monocrystalline crystal. Formed from the element carbon. Under high temperature conditions. Deep high pressure. In the earth. 3 people cheered. We are in the Golden Island. Gamble and make a fortune. Then a crow flew by on this deserted island. Even if you have a lot of gold or jewels, you can do it. What to collect 10 next silicon stone. Busy all morning. Finally, Tantheon people collected a basket full of silica stones. Gold or diamonds are also taken back. What if one day they escape? Dreams are always needed. In addition to raw chert. The materials used to make glass include seashell powder, used as a reinforcer to increase the durability of water. Tin and garena provide lead elements to reduce the viscosity and solubility of the glass. After having these ingredients, they are ground into powder and mixed well. Glass is silica. It is amorphous and has no fixed melting point. It only has a melting range. It will soften if at a temperature of 800 degrees Celsius. If you continue to increase the temperature, it will become a liquid. Flowable glass is simpler, much more than iron smelting. During the process, the silica rock gradually melts. Diplom and Jessica are responsible. Kneading bellows. Used to blow shaped glass. When first crafted, use a blowtorch to get a certain amount of liquid glass. Then blow the liquid glass. Like blowing a bubble, blow out the liquid glass. Finally, use tools to shape the glass. After blowing out the liquid glass, it must be done while the liquid glass has not yet cooled. Rotate the bellows. Take advantage of centrifugal force, causing the liquid glass to distribute evenly. Be careful to maintain a uniform speed. Otherwise, liquid glass will become a lump like this. Guys, the system appears. Master of scrap production. Get 1. 500 points. He made excuses. Let Diplom try it. I'll do it. Then the face. Don't know where to hide. Phew. Tongs to create a vase with a flared neck. Unfortunately, it still hasn't rotated evenly. He and Jessica both complimented Diplom. She was very cool. Next, he lavishly used diamonds to cut them. Glass has not yet cooled. Then we'll dip them into cold water. Then type it out and you'll be fine. I see the point just now. Enough to buy. Language encyclopedia, then show it to Nick. You understand completely. But in order not to be exposed, he still pretended to continue studying. A few days later, Jessica taught Arabic while helping pull the air duct. When Diplom researched and created glass-making techniques, Diplom shows extremely strong learning ability. Not only gradually getting used to Arabic, practice to the level of conversation every day. Fired glass jars are also increasingly sophisticated. The system notifies the host. Complete the mission to level up the barracks. Reward 2,000 points. Escape the end of summer. Little White has grown black feathers. Could follow Diplom's simple command. He thanked Diplom for fixing the clothes. Extremely comfortable. Takes so much time. It's also considered a no-brainer. I have this pigskin backpack. Not only is it sturdy and durable, but it can also be stuffed. Some things you usually carry around, like ropes, came in. It's really so convenient. Diplom felt sad because he didn't understand. She fell in love with him and made him start. From today, 3 people will start the first stage of the second half of the journey. According to plan, Tantheon prepares to bring ham tear, and sand sculptures explore the plains. Jessica Diplom previously discovered the plane crash. Will be in charge of shining a light on the remaining unknown areas. Around the barracks. Last time I coincidentally encountered Jessica's plane crash. There's also not enough food, so I haven't been able to explore thoroughly. This time I'm limited to being a mount. You can also use your talents to take turns on the road. Plus food for 10 days. Can definitely go to every corner of the plains. Excited to see him suddenly running so fast. For before it gets dark. Last time, the Stepwolf Island was attacked. So we should go a little further and set up camp. If you encounter one, you can also bring a bomb. After fall, as soon as night came, the cold wind howled, but fortunately, I have Jessica's tent and sleeping bag. And absolutely not worried about keeping warm. The next day he entered the plateau of his first goal. His fairy is the volcano. Seen before on the top of the plain mountain. Could be due to long continuous mountain forms divided into 2 inner rings. The outer ring is mostly wasteland and grasslands. The inner circle is surrounded by mountains. It grows full of bushes. When I come to the volcano, I lie in the center of the circle. The bushes at the foot of this volcano are too many. If you don't wear jeans, perhaps the thorn scratched his skin and broke his skin. The flesh is torn. Tantheon feels the dermis become sluggish. Feels it's hard to smell and sees that this is the smell of sulfur. I told you to stay here. And I climbed up there to take a look. Inside the volcano there is a lot of sulfur ore. Gaseous ingredients ejected from volcanoes. Very complicated. In most cases, water vapor accounts for the majority. The remainder is carbon dioxide. When sulfur dioxide and H2O gas meet, it will react to form sulfur. Eventually accumulates near the crater. Not all volcanic craters have sulfur. But as long as it's okay to have sulfur in the volcano in front of you. With this save you can make more bombs. However, volcanoes are not just about sulfur. In the final stage, or the middle stage when the volcano is active, volcanoes spew gases and liquids that interact strongly. In the lines, These hot gases and liquids often contain large amounts of metal compounds. Heavy. Under certain geological and chemical conditions, gas liquid containing heavy metals interacts with surrounding rocks in a complex way, eventually accumulate and precipitate, and finally form the so-called liquid gas field. Volcanic gases and liquids ejected by volcanoes covers a large wave area, and there are many solvents. Surrounding minerals and rocks react with it, so minerals are created, is also very complex and diverse. The volcano itself is a museum. He found that the knowledge stored up was not enough, so he went into the system to buy a picnic encyclopedia of minerals. You need some kind of advertising system to display information. Many common ores. It is a lead-gray sunfore. The black crack has a metallic sheen, formed in rock, metamorphism and sedimentation. Volcanic sunfore always prays for life with weather-prone sunfore. Turns into lead alum and white lead ore. On the ground. This is the material for making colorless glass. 2 days later he set up camp at the back of the mountain. Every day they go to the crater to look for minerals. Also discovered biri iron, python copy, rye copper iron. Many other types of ores are not in large quantities. There were only 7 or 8 lumps throughout the crater. He even tried mining ore below ground, but the surface of the crater is extremely hard. Not even a few strokes of the pickaxe and it has already broken in half. My body as well as my back gradually hurts. Without an iron hoe, it is difficult to dig iron ore. Without iron ore, iron hoe cannot be made. This is a dead cycle. I have to remember this host first. Then come with some people next year to try your luck. After, the sand sculpture flew in with the power of the sand sculpture. It only takes an hour to fly. And I have to go for a day. The idea of using it to deliver mail is not bad. This party is very good. Pay attention to safety, I love you. Some people worry and miss them. It's truly something that makes people happy. I don't think about iron ore anymore. Tomorrow get sulfur ore and some iron pre. Then came back. He wore a mask and held the rope down to see the corrosion. Sure enough, the concentration of sulfuric acid in the pit was too strong. Bamboo pipes cannot be used, so leave. For the next time. Brother, everywhere exploring resources in the plains. Compared to the forest, the ecological chain on the plateau is quite monotonous. Didn't earn much either. Usable resources are also available, but they can also be found in the forest. Near camp. No need to come here to do anything far away. Morning. 8th Tanthian. Decided to bring the sulfur and minerals back to the camp. I took a shortcut, and unexpectedly encountered a swamp. Last time he was also Jessica. When you go out into the swamp, your bones will be white and you won't be able to see the trees. Like this time he saw the bones fade over time. The concentration of methane gas and the concentration of bone white is proportional. He thought of crocodile leather used to make shoes and bags. Isn't it so delicious? SHU went to explore first. The situation was exactly as he had predicted. Discovered 2-legged animals. A few recently. He told the ham to stay because it was inconvenient for him to go into the swamp. If anything is wrong, just run out. SAU brought him here. After starting the talent, my maximum speed can reach 110 km per hour. Converted to RA, the distance is 5,000 m. Only runs for 3 minutes. Almost there, then go another 500 meters. Most viewed 500 meters. He saw a girl running. But the quantity is large. She was surrounded. He saw this was not a performance, but a killing to take his life. He couldn't see death without saving. He immediately made a bomb in the ratio 3 hours 2 minutes and 1 second. Mix potassium nitrate, red sugar, baking soda, stir together, then act like a homemade bomb. Remove clay conductor material. System. Show a notification. Candidates who successfully create bullets receive 3.000 points. He drew his bow and felt his heart beat fast. Because this is the first time I've dealt with people on this deserted island. The law may not be able to touch. So he saved the girl without injuring anyone. He smiled bitterly. The Holy Mother indeed. The girl took advantage of running away. He shot arrows continuously, making them stop. The girl ran past and saw her hiding behind the tree. And he threw it out. The bamboo bomb boom. He quickly called the other girl to run quickly. Those people were tall, dark and smelly with strong bodies. Great combat experience, amazingly rich. Even though he has 2 natural talents on his body, wanting to defeat them is like dreaming. Just run away and gather with Hamdar, everything will be fine. Because she lost too much blood, her speed decreased. If we continue like this, the 4 uncles will catch up. He turned around and knelt down, signaling her to get on his back. Even though I've never tried to unlock my talent for carrying people, but it can more or less increase speed. Even though stamina consumption can be doubled. She whispered something to him, then turned his back to him to hinder them. Let me run first. He quickly picked her up and ran. After one more person, Heaven's speed is reduced by 1 minute. Absolutely impossible to cut off. If cornered, he would throw all the bombs in his pocket. Suddenly far away it signaled a big snake. Big long snake. The swamp is really the abode of Manhwa. It just borrowed the heavy rain and moved to the bamboo forest. So I've been unlucky for 8 lifetimes. The others saw that, so they didn't dare to chase. He thought to himself, the other side has lots of meat, so chase him. Suddenly the snake attacked him. And the girl. He quickly dodged. The snake's front half tilted down. The girl ran up and stabbed the snake once. The snake cried out pitifully and threw the girl away. When it was about to eat her, then he hugged her, moved aside, quickly threw a bomb into its mouth. Boom. The whole person, it suddenly turned black, mouth filled with smoke, fell to the ground. He and the girl ran out of here quickly, went more than 300 meters. It suddenly woke up, screaming loudly, towards the 2 people running. He led her into the bushes. He told her, assuredly, it's okay if it's not for the sound. Python doesn't have to be used eyes, but rather use infrared glands to find prey. And the python's temperature sensing organ is just right. Its face and nose have now exploded, causing blood, flesh and skin to mix. The brain indulges the senses. Was no longer able to function normally. So it's not easy to find us. He communicated with the sand sculpture. Unfortunately, unconsciously, one of his hands touched her chest. Not long after, the 2 of them went to the edge of the swamp. She saw a wild beast. Then definitely move forward. I didn't save the wrong person. But he clapped his hands and signaled the ham to lie down. Invited her to ride on his pet. The girl saw that. Then kneeled down. He and the girl didn't know what to say. He put her on the back of the girl. And he also got up and left. After Tanthian took the girl for a ride. Hurry up and leave the swamp at your fastest speed. Run like crazy when you enter the woods. He can rest assured. There was a cut on the girl's hand. The wound is always extremely serious. Synchronous sutra to stop the bleeding urgently. Saw her struggling to light the fire. He took out the lighter. The little girl was surprised. She didn't expect to make a fire so quickly. She planned to use a stick to burn it. To stop the bleeding, he quickly told not to do that because it would hurt. He held a bottle of salt water and bandaged her. With his hand, he pointed to the wound on her thigh. The girl opened her thighs for him to handle. Make me think right away. Book means no. Fall means emptiness. He built a hut. Saw her sleeping outside and was cold. Immediately tried to carry her in. Then reflexively turned towards him with his hand. He promptly dodged. She unfortunately tripped over her foot and fell towards him. She knelt down to apologize just now. The little girl looked east and west and her stomach growled. The little girl made a punching motion. This force. If it were you. The rice that was prepared the night before also spilled out. He offered her dried pork. She bowed like a servant giving thanks. Finished eating. He intended to tell her to sleep in a sleeping bag but tried to refuse. Tanthian and Nick continued to transport soil. Boil them into kaolinite and make bombs. After all the digging is done. Also only got 3 flasks of kaolinite trapped. Departure date approaching. Most of the materials are prepared. Tanthian thought of as the most important telescope. With existing materials, the only telescopes we can do are Galileo and Kepler. The operating principle of the telescope is very simple. That is through the objective lens. Brings light to the scene from afar. Focus behind that. Condensed into a miniature real image. Then observe through the eyepiece. See the virtual image magnified many times. Only then can the far-sighted effect be achieved. Galileo telescope. Use the backward lens as the objective lens. And the concave lens as the eyepiece. Simple fabrication. form a positive image, but it looks small and the magnification is not easy to increase. In the Cablo telescope, both the objective lens and the eyepiece are retrograde lenses. Except it looks big but the image is upside down. Image up, down, left and right. A retrograde lens needs to be added between objective lens and eyepiece. Easy to achieve positive and negative effects. It is called vertical imaging system. He did it Caplo style. Convex lens. He asked Deeplam to make a new casting mold and blanking machine. The next day before making the glass sheet mold, use a circular mud plate to heat it. Built a simple billet pulling machine. Deeplam's request. Deeplam uses the rotational power of the workpiece pulling machine. Uses a cover to cut a small hole. Look at the relatively smooth funnel on the mud billet. Then use the leaves as sandpaper. Try to smooth out the scratches on the surface. Funnel and carefully press down. Try to wipe the pointed end of the funnel into a curved shape. After 5 molds are completed, simply pour the liquid glass into the mold to cool. Join 2 flat and convex glass panels together. Double-sided convex glass is considered finished. After that, adjust the distance between the objective and eyepiece. Is normal. Compound telescope. Distance between objective lens and eyepiece. Roughly equal to the sum of the focal lengths between the objective and eyepiece. But the Tanthians had no measuring tools. Just try it slowly. Deeplam looked, and saw a pair of yellow birds in the distance. Magnification effect 7 or 8 times. Nick was surprised and said this is such an amazing magic eye. After determining the focal length. Looks like the telescope is half done. Tanthian and others found the bamboo tree. Suitable for outer shell. Then divide the telescope cover tube into 2 parts. Objective lens and eyepiece tube. To make a telescope. Very compact retractable. Nick loves it and doesn't want to let it down. Also they make some magnifiers for ignition. Although now they have lighters. But the kerosene in it is a non-renewable resource. So everyone decided to use a magnifying glass to light the fire. Except in emergencies. Other times, I'll use a magnifying glass to ignite the ignition. Everything is ready. The 4 Tanthians were finally prepared to start building boats. You see there are many types of wild encyclopedias of technology. Most of them are small dugout boats. Wooden boats. Fishing boat. This boat has a stable design. Good load-bearing capacity. Not easy to overturn when going to sea. And can withstand strong winds and waves to add sails. If you only rely on manual oars, you will be easily affected by ocean currents. After deciding on the boat building plan, 4 people Tanthian started working. Due to the simple catamaran structure, the building speed is much faster than a single boat. I built a room on the deck, so I wouldn't have to worry about the wind. Long-distance rain only takes a week. The catamaran was completed and successfully tested. That night Nick used his glasses to look at the constellations in the sky. And couldn't rescue everyone. Tanthian and Deeplam sat and worriedly confided. Jessica also wanted to come and exchange feelings with the 2 of them. And after that I don't know guys. Early the next morning, the Tanthian group finished calculating the rising tide. Arrive on time at the beach. He and Jessica and Nick set off. Still eager to compete with Deeplam. Stay in the barracks. Bye. I can't bear to leave Tanthian. Deeplam is determined to take good care of the camp. Is also helping them. Nick looked into the distance. I will save everyone. I will take you to the land. Jessica to avoid the sea on the shore. When ocean waves encounter, the cliff will hit back to form convection. Noon winds over the sea are smaller. Much more is very messy. Jessica can only retract her sails. The sun is not so toxic that it makes people suspicious. Life without any protection. Basking in the sun. Within 10 minutes the skin will be hot. The most serious is light pollution. The sea surface undulates like a mirror. Reflect sunlight. Even titanium alloy dog eyes will be blind. So the 3 of them hid in the deckhouse. Restore physical strength and rehydrate. By afternoon the sea breeze is still very small. Tanthian and Jessica had no choice but to row. Boats made of wooden planks prepared in advance. Haninik just looked at them. Embarrassed because he injured his arm. Human speed cannot be compared to wind. After walking for a while, I stopped to rest. Finally came evening. All 3 of them still haven't arrived on the deserted island as expected. Chief, the 3 chambers for lowering anchor overnight do not have enough iron. So he made 4 wooden anchors to place at the 4 corners of the ship. Jessica is on duty at night because she has a lot of experience. Tantheon slept for 2 to 3 hours when there was a noise. Should wake up. I'll sit down and talk to her. Morning. The next day the weather was beautiful. The sea breeze kept blowing from early morning. Tantheon's group of windbenders glided away. When the sun begins to go west, Nick looked through the glass and saw the sandy shore. Quickly said we had reached the other side of the island. Then, he let the Sandu probe first. After landing, everyone camped and discussed. Nick advises everyone to be careful. Because the bad guys are looking for something. They could be anywhere, so we have to be careful when going. The next morning the 3 of us continued walking. And saw high vegetation on this side. Bigger but no bushes. Nick saw the way back. But she stopped. Because I didn't see anyone guarding it. Too unusual. Tantheon let the sand statue first explore. Seeing a lot of 2-legged animals. He told Jessica to stay while he and Nick went to see. When Nick immediately ran. Inside the Plaza tribe. Discussing with the elders. After Nick disappeared, the patriarch, father, hers and the Braves were also missing. She told everyone first she had no trouble. She broke through the fog. To another side of this island. The other side was the same. Second she met the master. Who was Tantheon. Most people didn't believe her. Suddenly went downhill. Flew to Tantheon's side to appear. He acted like it was cool so everyone would believe. But still suspected. He took the lighter in his hand. Everyone saw fire in the air. Then believed he was a wizard. Knelt to worship him. Suddenly there was a tall guy with many scars sitting on the chair. Challenge me a bit. Nick forewarned. Tantheon, tell Qatar that the master has tamed the falcon. Catch a big bird and fight a giant snake. But he still hasn't given up the idea of fighting him. I used the speed of a cheetah. Just 2 fingers pressing on his head making him freeze. Everyone was surprised the speed was far beyond humanity. He provoked him. If he can stand up, I will accept the fight. But he exerts his strength. But can't stand. It's considered a pass. Let me tell you a little bit. Being able to do this to everyone. Being able to use 2 fingers to subdue Qatar depends on skill. Not strength. This has to do with mechanics. And human physiology. People go from sitting to standing up. Must go through 2 directions. The first force is directed forward. Back with an upward direction. During this process, use your hand to press firmly on his forehead. Cannot tilt forward. Center of gravity will fall on the buttocks. Even if he has great strength. He cannot stand up. The elder thanked the wizard. Jessica. Everyone said hello to the wizard. He and she stepped up and said loudly. Not wrong. Lord Vu Than. Listen to everyone's prayers. That's why he sent us here. Let everyone out of trouble. Everyone cheered and thanked him profusely. It was already evening. The elder led him and Jessica to a tent. And Nick was telling the monk about his exploits with the giant snake. She also showed off her magic eye, which was a far-seeing telescope. He prepared everything. Because the Plaza tribe still has 20 people. Both young and old are counted. You only have 10 people fighting. So use bombs. You can't compete with these people either. There. LLU brought the food. He painted a sad face and wanted to ask him to save the people of the clan. Baby returns. He rubbed his head and promised the baby. Suddenly the baby's stomach growled. Then he brought some meat and gave it to the baby to eat like a hungry tiger. Through LLU told. The tribe still had little food so the baby was hungry. Previously, due to running away, I did not have time to bring food. Although after stabilization, every day, the warriors in the tribe were all out hunting. But the food arrived took a long time. Only to be able to fend off the entire tribe. Plus the weather is getting colder. Animals go out with little food. The soldiers brought back less and less. Until now, clan people only take turns looking for food. Can barely live. Came today. The elder brought a basket of food. Blame LLU. Why are you here? I saw there wasn't much food but brought it to me. He told the old man to share it with everyone. He gave him a backpack of dried meat. To distribute to everyone. He was moved to tears. Early the next morning Nick called the 2 people up. He yawned and came out but didn't see anyone. The elder brought a fruit basket to invite him and told Nick. Gradually he went to the enemy's position to examine it before attacking. The elder hopes to be able to see it directly. How the wizard defeats his enemy Jessica. And he came up with a reason why. The wizard came here and used all his magic power. People should not be able to attack directly, but using the wisdom of the witch god to help the tribe. He and Nick learned from the tribe. It took a normal day for that group of bad people to walk. Half a week's walk on a normal day. The two of them slowed down. By noon the next day, he arrived at their hometown and saw a large crowd. Wooden boats. Lots of young men. Buffalo horn iron helmet. Dragon head boat. He found peace with them extremely small. Nick saw his clansmen, handcuffed with iron chains carrying wood. He saw them loosely guarding only 4 corners. Suddenly signaled, someone coming. He and Nick quickly hid. They spoke Norwegian, were arguing, because he followed the captain's orders. He searched but found nothing. They sat and talked about the giant snake. Listen to what they say. One guy was wounded in the thigh by an arrow. Couldn't run in time. Was swallowed by a snake. Just found out. They were chasing you and Nick before. Just arrived now. They said, if there is a giant snake, then there will definitely be a treasure stream. Legend. You have to take the map from their mouths. Just had the opportunity to return to the mainland. In the previous part, Tanthian group created glass canning jars. Telescope. Ignition magnifying glass can build a boat. Discovered this deserted island has a treasure stream. Tanthian and Nick went to explore the enemy's location. I overheard a group of pirates discussing. They are looking for treasure streams. So what will you two do to rescue your people? Let's look forward to it, everyone. After the exploration, Tanthian and Nick returned. Meanwhile, Qatar and 2 Plaza clan people are hunting. A bit far from the barracks. Was chased by a group of pirates. Carried by a running person. One person was injured, so the running speed was very slow. Qatar asked Rena to drop Aruba down, so the 2 people could run away. Aruba didn't want to die, so she begged Qatar to save her, but was still left behind. Is for all tribes. If they too were captured, who will go out hunting? The tribe will starve. Nick suddenly appeared, called Qatar to join the fight to protect the people. Tanthian, hiding in the bushes, suddenly shot an arrow and hit a pirate in the thigh. Qatar advised everyone to fight. Don't let them blow the whistle. Buffalo horns will be very dangerous, because if there is a whistle they will bring more support to. Qatar's stone lance. Opposite their shield will be broken. Must hold a critical strike. Qatar used the wooden end of the spear to push hard, and the pirate went away. They saw that fighting was useless, so they laughed loudly. Qatar called Rena to help. When the 3 people were surrounded, Nick just told Qatar to pretend to fight back, so they don't blow the whistle. Taking advantage of the enemy's loophole, Tanthian saved people and left. He signaled the SA to inform Nick. Everything's okay, let's go ahead. Nick took down 1 guy. Kara 1 guy. Tanthian saw 1 guy was about to take the conch and blow it up. Then give him a shot. Just like that, the 3 people of the Plaza tribe killed 2 more guys. But the whistle blew. Then Qatar finished off the hornblower. Within 3 minutes other pirates will gather here. Everyone had to leave, even the forest that was disturbed. Nick ran to Tanthian to inherit. It's not good to run now. Pirates are everywhere and can easily be caught. You should find a place to hide and then think about it again at night. In the old place, a group of pirates came running. Horn-blowing place. When they saw the corpses, not only did they not feel sad, but they also teased each other. Who comes first? A guy who discovered bloodstains. 2 names that no one wants to know. Because we have to divide £100 per native. Tanthian to handle. Gently examine Aruba's wound to avoid leaving bloodstains. He cried because he was touched. Before the sky was completely dark, Tanthian group found an extremely mysterious cave. Only calmed down their unstable mood. At night without lighting torches. The pirate group is not easy to find. In addition to wild animals, they did not dare to hunt indiscriminately. Qatar and the other 2 people because they hunted a bit far from the tribe. I haven't hunted anything yet and I'm being chased by pirates. Now my stomach is gurgling around Tanthian. He gave dried pork to everyone. Aruba and Diana were so happy. Qatar seemed shy. Aruba was left in the middle of the road. But also no resentment. Qatar. Because of the tribe, there is no other way. Aruba teased Qatar. He was finally happy to eat together. The next day it was just dawn. Tanthian's group immediately moved. Surprisingly, the road back was smooth. Nothing happened. under the instructions of the sand sculpture. They easily returned. Tantheon said to the guard, Aruba is injured, so it needs to be dealt with immediately. Tantheon about the risk of discussing with Jessica. According to surveys, the pirate group has about 100 people, equipped with iron armor and armored weapons. Jessica likes to learn. Pirates through bodies and remains. Even Tantheon was speechless after he talked to Jessica. It is known that the pirates talked about giant snakes. Giant sea monsters in the sea are not active. Around the deserted island, the ageless stream can live forever. But there must be a holy grail. Sounds like a Caribbean pirate. I don't know. Tantheon thinks it should still be resolved. Food for the tribe is still the most important thing. He came up with a plan to borrow food. But I borrowed it and then broke it. Tantheon drew a map of the enemy camp, prison and cafeteria, storehouse, and the plan to lure the pirates in the barracks away. Took the opportunity to save people and take food from the pirates. Take advantage of the enemy's greed. The captured person was chained to his hands and feet. He had a plan to make Aquan easier to handle it. The next day the elder brought chicken thighs. Thank you for saving Aruba. He couldn't refuse either. Taste without salt. Reminded him of Deeplam's craftsmanship. Tantheon asked the elder to take him to meet the craftsman Alex. Alex is a strong girl. Muscular and has six-pack abs. Skilled craftsman. Make living tools and weapons. She was intently looking for a stone to sharpen her spear blade but couldn't. Knowing he was coming, he silently watched what she did. After completing the work, I realized that the monk had come. I immediately knelt down to say hello. After purchasing Tantheon, he became fluent in communication language. He asked Alex to make pipes and reagent bottles. She clapped her hands on her chest. We'll make the most perfect vase for you. Tantheon laughed it off. Because you just need a container that doesn't leak water. Without needing to be too perfect. Tantheon wanted to ask for bones to make. But the elder thought it was the enemy's bones to cast. No killing techniques. Still want animal bones. Then he understood to summon the Great Earth. Chi Lin. Jessica quickly said he wanted to make tools. Only then did the elder believe and lead him away. He wanted to make matches from white phosphorus. Preparation is as follows. Mix bone meal with a carbon and silica. Separates the heating air. Then add the formed gas to the cooling water. Is it possible to obtain white phosphorus? He sent a letter to Deeplam. Thanks to Sa. He brought Casinoic too. During his free time, he and Jessica go looking for food around the Plaza tribe. The two people saw only gnawing on tree bark and eating grass. Because the tribe had picked everything. Both of them met Aruba. Holding taro leaves under their armpits. Aruba didn't know it was edible. He picked the leaves because he felt they were big enough to cover his head when it was sunny. Very convenient. Tantheon and Jessica thought it was so good. Immediately said. Aruba led the two people to the taro tree. Seeing so many people's eyes lit up. This way, the tribe no longer has to worry about hunger. Let me introduce everyone to taro. Is a perennial herbaceous plant in the aphid family. Usually grown as an annual plant. Is an important food crop. Has high nutritional and medicinal value. Is a suitable nutrient for all ages. Taro is rich in starch grains. Starch is as small as 1/19 of potato starch. Digestion rate can be up to 98%. Can also be used as vinegar. Sour wine. Protein extract. Safe calories. Aruba saw two people trying to pick and eat. So she quickly shouted, don't eat. Otherwise her teeth will be red and swollen. Nausea, dry mouth and tongue. Tantheon immediately explained that when it is not ripe, there will be toxins. When cooked, it will be gone. Aruba thought he could eat it, so he was so excited he spit it all out. But after hearing Tantheon say it again he understood. Only the stem can be eaten. Then his face became pale because it was too little. Tantheon doesn't know where to explain. Then Jessica pulled up the whole tree and introduced it to Aruba. Only this part of the tuber can be eaten. Now Aruba understands. Then the three people started digging taro. Because I didn't bring a bag, the three of them had no choice but to pack clothes and bring them home. The elder and Alex were surprised. I don't believe this tuber is edible. Tantheon and Jessica just had to prove it. Because they didn't have a steamer, so they had to boil it with water. Boiling taro requires about 10 minutes. This time, the three people kept staring at the pot of boiling potatoes. It's like wanting to eat the whole pot. Tantheon sees it's done when he opens the lid and a fragrant smell comes out. To be sure, he used chopsticks to skewer the tuber. If it's cooked, it will stick all the way through. He gave one tuber to all 3 people. I also really want this type of starch. I'm tired of eating fruit and meat all the time. The 3 saw that the tubers were still too hot, so they juggled them to avoid burning their hands. After the heat subsided, the 3 of them didn't know how to gulp down the shell. It felt so delicious. The elder was moved and tears rolled down. The Plaza tribe is no longer hungry. He knelt down and thanked Tantheon. All 3 have eaten their fill. Let's go out and dig more potatoes for the whole village to eat. The whole village smells the fragrance when Lou is holding a frog. 1 on each side. Tantheon had already cooked 3 big pots. The whole village was happy because of the 3 big pots. This is a lot of food. Everyone has a part. Nick and Qatar carry the wild boar back. Then everyone shows them the edible things in the pot. Everyone listened to him, picked up the pot to eat rice. Lou was shy, wanted to give Tantheon tiger fangs. He thanked Lou for the small gift and patted the baby's head. Qatar also recognized Tantheon as friendly. Unlike the crab hunting idiot. No teacher. I only know how to sit in the tent and do mysterious things. These 2 guys are completely empty. Tantheon is popular with everyone. The taro basket cannot be maintained for long. Pirates are constantly narrowing their tribal positions. Narrowing the survival situation. So everyone took advantage of it to build a boat. If you can save people, then we will get on the boat to go to your barracks. Everyone agrees to obey. Then under Hammer's organization, the Plaza tribe tried their best to stay away from the camp. The pirates set up a boat building site in the forest, near the beach where Tantheon's group went ashore. Tantheon went to Alex's place to get the pottery first and asked her to make it. I didn't expect her to make it so beautiful, but I just needed to store it. It took a long time, so it was better for her to make 2 sets for me. Jessica found this pottery even more beautiful than Diplom made. After preparation, finished the experiment, Tantheon went to the beach to pick up seashells. Crush the shells and then heat him up. Is possible to get high. Then sprinkle it again into the water. Is to get potassium herosite precipitated. Jessica is in charge of boiling seawater to get it. Magnesium chloride is a white or colorless crystalline solid. It has a bitter taste and is soluble in water and has strong hygroscopic properties, i.e. halogen salt. After both materials are ready, add CrDHEDG oxide to the halogen salt. There are a lot of metals in seawater. In there, magnesium exists in seawater as magnesium gruer. After magnesium chloride, potassium HEDH oxide in halogen salts meet each other. Will react to form magnesium precipitate, hydroxide and calcium oxygen solution. But after I asked, my family was sentenced to death. These formulas are all wrong. But I was already stupid, so I didn't ask anymore. Quicklime Tantheon. Use clothes to filter out magnesium hydrogen shit precipitate. Jessica took out the battery from her backpack and prepared the water. Saturated salt. Under electrolytic conditions, the ions in saturated brine are ionized. Hydroxide and sodium ions combine. Becomes sodium hydroxide solution. Hydrogen ions and ion glout become gases. Among them Tantheon collects chlorine and hydrogroide and passes through water to form hydrochloric acid. Magnesium hydroxide precipitation. Filtered into low uric acid to cause a chemical reaction. Create pure magnesium chloride solution. Final step. The water is evaporated by heating. To obtain wool solid bite magnesium chloride. And then, solid magnesium chloride is heated to a liquid state. And conduct electrolysis. Elemental chlorine in magnesium chloride turns into chlorine gas and dissolves. And what's left is white magnesium powder. Busy all day, finally done. He and Jessica tried burning it. Flash. One emitted strong blue light. Some people in the tribe saw that and thought it was magic. Everyone in the tribe just needs to eat well. Cutting trees all day is not tiring. Tantheon has already drawn the structure of the wooden tenon. Give it to Alex because the tribe doesn't have iron. If using hemp rope made from tree bark, then the submerged seawater can easily break. Alex looking at the structure he drew is magical. 2 pieces of wood can be connected tightly together. Alex saw that it would take 5 days to complete. Because boring holes is guaranteed to fit for a long time. Boring tools are limited. But Jessica said she would only do the main thing. If you need to use it, you only need 3 days. Tanthian placed his hands on her shoulder blades, entrusted her with being in charge of building the boat. SAU delivered a basket of diplom items sent to, including glass laboratory equipment. He didn't expect her to become a survival expert. She even sent him a safety report, made him forget to send her a peace letter. Tanthian group explored the enemy camp. After returning to the tribe found taro. The tribe can withstand hunger for a few days. Tanthian will have a plan to rescue the Plaza clan. In Pirate's hand. Let's all watch together. Tanthian took the crispy grilled bones, then crushed to get white phosphorus. Then mixed the carbon powder, the bone powder silica together, then heated to high temperature. This section is more about chemistry. Anyone who doesn't understand can rewind. High temperature conditions. Siligok will react with calcium phosphate in bones to produce calcium silicate and phosphorus bentoshit. After the phosphorus bentoshit is reduced by charcoal, it can produce white phosphorus in gas and carbon dioxide form. White phosphorus gas, when exposed to water, will turn into white particles and sink into the water. Some particles float on the water surface and rise. White phosphorus is highly toxic, so now you have to keep a safe distance to avoid his own death. If you have white phosphorus, you can make white phosphorus match. But white phosphorus is not safe. What you want to do is safe, because white phosphorus spontaneously combusts if it exceeds 40 degrees, and will burn on any surface due to friction. Just a little bigger movement. The matches in the matchbox will rub against each other, then spontaneously combusted. Very dangerous. The Swedish taster Crouch improved in 1852. Enter a safe match. The difference is the red phosphorus fire conductor. Compared to white phosphorus, red phosphorus has a higher spontaneous ignition point. Can only catch fire by rubbing. The surface is covered with a layer of red phosphorus. When burned, it does not produce toxic gases. The method of producing red phosphorus is very simple. Just need to heat white phosphorus to about 300 degrees. Air isolation is fine. The temperature of the fire can be reached. Next, create the potassium chlorate that safety matches require. For calcium hydrogen shit solution. Byproduct obtained during the production of magnesium, and mixed with potassium carbonate solution, is also wood ash water. To obtain, precipitate calcium carbonate and potassium hydroxide solution. Chlorine gas is obtained by electrical insulation. Redistribute the brine and then lead it into potassium chloride solution. Heating to obtain potassium chlorate and potassium chloride solutions. The solubility of potassium chlorate and potassium chloride are very different. So, just add kalinokras to cool the mixture. Is possible. Causes a large number of potassium chloras crystals. Can be precipitated out of the solution. Finally through the branches and leaves of the dried bark, causing it to lose moisture. Carry out the necessary cutting, and the match is completed. Making match heads requires using an adhesive called glue, cooked from pork bones. Before, mix the sulfur sand again, then add filtered water and mix well. Their ratio is 12%, 40%, 6%. Then the main important step is to add potassium close and red and mixed phosphorus. This is also the biggest difference between the safety match and the match. White phosphorus. Home nail display system. Custom made. 1.000 points reward. Jessica happily hugged Tanthian, so he got crushed by the mountain and broke his back again. He. Next made strong water, so that a large amount of white smoke is generated from white phosphorus. Naturally following the fire pipe into hot water, can produce phosphoric acid. Add kalinotras powder into the solution. Phosphoric acid IC. Continue heating in high temperature environment. Produces a reddish-brown gas, which can finally be collected through the cooling water. IC phosphorus acid used to make aqua regia. ITCLOHIDic acid and coordination acid have been prepared. Aqua regia needs to be prepared immediately and used immediately. Aqua regia is royal water. Is an extremely corrosive compound. Now I'm here to build it. 2 people went to check out the boat building situation. Nick has completely recovered from his wound. Is in good shape to fight. Alex introduces Tanthian. They closed 6 of them. Relatively sturdy. No less than the boat he nailed. One can carry 6 people. He told Alex to make a few more boats. Let the clan rescue them and then go with them. 4 days after the action, Tanthian gave Each person a box of matches. I finished modeling. Lou did it. See fire in the air. People think it's useless. It's miraculous. Alex saw that the spark was very similar to the spark that gave birth to Ra. When she broke the rock, he showed everyone how to use. Put the match head in the match case. Next to the matchbox, friction quickly creates fire. Qatar finds it very convenient. Tantheon calls on everyone's spirit because of the past few days. It's been hard work. The time has come, let's go save the clan. I choose a few suitable people to go save. I immediately choose a girl named Quay Pokoma and Pahama. The guards in charge of monitoring the perimeter of the ministry lost. Brotherly relationship. Neutral elegant appearance. If not, the body is different. Just by looking at your face. It's easy for people to misunderstand you. Our two brothers. The main weapon is a very short bow and arrow. The head of the remote attack department. Added a man named Virus. The tribe's oldest soldier is about 40 years old. Mature and upright body. The weapons are two skillful fighting kites. The other is Nick Qatar Aruba. Have been in contact before. Tantheon and everyone gathered to discuss and make plans. Jessica saw that he was worried. Because if you face someone, you have to kill someone. He still didn't dare her to advise him if the other side made a move. You should be one step ahead to kill your opponent. If you hesitate, you will destroy yourself. Those pirates were inherently evil. Her hands were covered in fresh blood. She hugged him hoping he would come back alive. Late at night the next day, two guards were arguing. Because I have to go on night watch. In cold weather, suddenly saw a glowing area. It was Tantheon tying a flashlight to the sand sculpture. The pirates thought it was an ageless stream. Immediately went to tell the captain. At this time the captain was sitting holding the line. Catching the shark. Just as the shark jumped up to take the bait, the Casuarina spearman came. Heard someone wanted to report. He didn't catch okay. He goes out to meet anyone who dares to harass. If the news is important he will reward the reporter with candy. And if not, we'll send that guy to the counting board too. He saw the streak of light that his subordinates reported was a treasure stream. He immediately rewarded the reporter with some gold. Different pirates went searching for gold. There were two guys left, smartly choose to stay. Because I'm not sure what it is. Don't dare to steal treasures if you rob the captain. In the end, you only have to eat bananas. No need to peel the shell and look at the chicken's ass. So those two guys sat still and observed. Then the fisherman benefited. The famous and timid captain. To see who is the fish today. Who is the fisherman? The pirates saw the moving light and still chased them. Unfortunately Tantheon used binoculars. Saw that there were still 20 pirates who were not hooked. He gave the binoculars to two archers if he disregarded two. Remote coverman. Nick Qatar and you will sneak in behind. The wall is too high. He told Nick to support Qatar first. But Qatar jumped over. Nick also jumped over. He thought the wall was at least 10 feet high. But the other two jumped over. Like number two of them are the kings of the land. Not me. He used the speed of a cheetah to run and jump over. The three saw there was no one behind the barracks. Guessed roughly in the southwest barracks. Tantheon stopped. Because the last time we visited, we saw two people guarding it. But now I don't know what to do. Qatar quickly said there was no time to hesitate anymore. So the three went into the jail to save people. Nick ran to her father and clan. Told them to rest assured and saved everyone. Tantheon told Qatar to stand guard. Let me go prepare Aqua Regia. The system appears. Successfully creating Aqua Regia gives 1.000 points. Aqua Regia is mixed in proportion. 3 parts concentrated hydrochloric acid. And 1 part concentrated nitric acid. The steps are very simple but be careful. Acid chlor. Concentrated EDGIC is an extremely corrosive liquid. If dropped on the skin, even the bones will immediately turn white. Also very normal. He advised everyone to stay away from Ra and don't touch it. I chained the front door. Then I called everyone quickly. Stretch out your and iron chain legs for him to continue kneading. Nick and Qatar. He assigned 2 tanks to save the people in the remaining cages. After everyone escapes the chains. Just went out. Then I heard a siren signaling someone was coming. There are 2 archers outside. Tantheon told me to use the plan of glaring at vegetables and picking up meat. Shooting fire into the food warehouse. Making half have to go fight the fire. Because this is a food warehouse to store food through the winter. The captain is shy. Lead the rest home. Lao. He laughed when he saw the Plaza clan climbing the wall to escape Ra. This trip is a complete mess. Tanthian thinks these guys are so smart. They didn't fall for my plan. Then without hesitation, took a light bomb, and threw it at the pirates. Tanthian told everyone not to hurry up, then go to a meeting with everyone. I hope this bomb can deter the pirates. Suddenly one of them flies towards Tanthian. Qatar rushes up to block it and kills him. The captain smiled with glee and rushed up. Right after that, Qatar stopped him. He was very excited when he met Qatar. Tanthian had a bomb ready. In case the pirates attack, send everyone away. Tathian also asked for prayers. The captain shouted. Everyone went up and gave Dad 200 gold per head of the natives. Then they raced forward. He threw another bomb. Then one guy knocked the bomb away. Up into the air. He had claws in his hand and rushed towards Tanthian. Nick quickly blocked the attack for him. Nick asked him and everyone to go first. She will deal with them. He thought it wouldn't be okay to go. Thinking there was a rain of rockets, causing the pirates to stop, burning their shields and armor. The arrows were sprinkled with animal skins of white phosphorus. When the arrow hits, the white phosphorus target will fall down. From animal skin, the burning point of white phosphorus is low. Use the flame of an arrowhead as a guide. If you touch it, it will burn. You can't fight close combat, but fighting from afar is okay. One guy got hit in the leg. I was about to shoot another guy, when suddenly on the left, a guy behind the house, on the right ran to slash. When he discovered the patriarch blocked his attack, he told him to run first. He ran through the fence to cover him, then saw him dodge very quickly, and the other guy lost his rice chewing accessories. The arrow flew away, his helmet flew away. He lost streaks of blood. The road long kick, two guys collapsed. Like this, why do they need help anymore? I see Nick and the claw guy are evenly matched. And Qatar is being controlled by a cowardly captain. He laughed happily because he was still young and green. If you don't have strong weapons, how can you fight? There were several wounds on Qatar's body. The fire arrow was about to end Tanthian. Must fight quickly and win quickly. He lit the stun grenade, then yelled at his men to close their eyes, take advantage of the moment and quickly escape towards the deep forest. After everyone gets over the fence, he threw another smoke bomb to buy more time. The pirates, unable to see anything, slashed at each other haphazardly. The captain shouted at all the pirates who crossed the barrier, follow the footsteps and chase. The pirates stopped in fear when they saw it was dark. There are many wild animals in the forest. He said coldly, can't keep up. Then you all have to go reunite with your grandparents. The pirates were scared. The captain had to go into the forest to search. There are still pirates searching in the forest. If you are unlucky enough to encounter one, plus a bunch of pirates chasing after him, it will be like being surrounded in a circle. They will find out the location of the lost tribe. Must follow the plan quickly. Run to the beach before dawn. If they chase them onto the boat. On this deserted island there is no place to hide. Nick discovered there was another pirate squad. He told everyone to hide quickly. Took advantage of the unlit areas to hide. Half an hour later, Tanthian grouped together, encountered a pirate squadron. The light of the torch was really too dazzling. Dark. Tanthian's group once again successfully hid, avoiding their search. The third group of pirates left. Everyone was happy, when suddenly the third group of pirates turned around and they pretended to extinguish the torches. They saw everyone, Nick and Qatar, and the clan leader rush in and slash the guys to death. Before I could react, two guys were about to blow the trumpet, when they were shot dead by the Pokoma and Pahama brothers. The recent battle, he saw 5 people die in front of him. It was a bit sad. He quickly led everyone away from that place. Each pirate holds a torch, illuminates the whole forest.